Welcome to Live and Learn, the only show where Pisco provides assets and then doesn't show up. Oh, there he is.
All right.
Yeah, we can hear you, Pisco. What's going on, man?
What's up, brother?
How's it in the alley where Spider-Man saved Mary Jane? What are you doing there?
Hi. Gohan kudasai. That's all I know.
Have you saved the princess in Bowser's castle yet, bro?
I've saved them from these MAGA liberal fucks who want to vote in. Wait, are we live?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Holy shit. All right, now.
We're live, baby.
We're live. How you guys doing?
Good. I'm a little conflicted on this Michigan Senate race.
You're conflicted.
You're conflicted.
I'm a little bit conflicted, yeah.
What are you conflicted about, Hutch? Tell us what's in your soul. Inside you, there are two wolves. Explain wolf number one and wolf
There's
number two.
There's a gay wolf and a gayer wolf.
Well, listen, I like El Sayed. I like his policies, but he endorsed Kamala Harris in 2024, and she literally did a genocide. And so I don't know if I'm supposed to. I don't know why you're laughing. It's not funny. It might be funny to you. It's not funny to me. I take it seriously, and so I don't know. It's just that's asking.
I'm three steps ahead in this ironic conversation. Don't worry.
Well,
what irony? I don't know what you're talking about. It's a tough call. Like if he can't draw the line,
it's gonna be the whole fucking episode.
Well, if he can't draw the line there, Pisco, how can I trust him in the Senate? It's like I feel like that's.
Well, boy, didn't you vote for Kamala Harris, Dutch?
Huh?
You voted for Kamala Harris, right?
I have no comment on that.
Well, I'll go even further than you, Hutch. I'm ready to tell people I will not be voting for El Sayed in November. I just won't do it.
Well, you know what? It's funny, IRI, because like the Democratic Party, they feel like they're entitled to your vote because like the Republican Party is bad.
I hope a lot of other people do because I want to see him win. So I hope a lot of other people vote for him and he wins. But I will not be voting for El Sayed.
This is what I'm hearing, Hutch. I'm hearing spite-driven positions against people who I also hate for not voting for Kamala in 2024. But why should we act like them?
It's not spite. He's creating leverage. That's the smart thing to do if you're a voter, right?
Well, I don't
disagree.
I don't live in Michigan, so I can't vote there. So not really any leverage there. But I'm just letting people know I can't. I will not vote for him, but I hope other people do.
That was nice. All right. I thought you were doing part of the meta performance. You were being sincere. You were being sincere in a way.
Oh, that's
true.
Guys.
Yeah.
True. I didn't even think about that. It's true.
Yeah.
I too. I will not be voting for El Sayed if he's in the general election. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it.
Good. Yeah.
Are we trolling? This is a troll, right? I think we should do blue no matter who. Including people who supported genociders like Kamala Harris, like Genocide Joe.
No, I mean obviously it's a troll, but we should troll. We should troll. I mean, I think it's morally correct to troll in this fight.
Why?
Well, I mean, very few often times in life do you get an opportunity to use someone's exact rhetoric and then have them be like furious with you. And there's no way I'm going to resist that. I mean, I'm just, yeah.
I mean, I'm all for like calling these guys hypocrites and telling them like, hey, you don't even believe in vote blue no matter who. So shut up. You don't get to hold that over our head.
Well,
we're better than them. And we get to actually say, yeah, it's good when we do it in both cases that we should vote blue for the person who's going to beat the MAGA person, right?
Well, but Hutch and I are saying it in jest, but there are people out there right now saying with their chest, if Stevens is the candidate, I will not be voting for her.
Yeah, fuck those people, right? Like, yeah, these people are not serious people.
But that saying fuck those people isn't going to accomplish anything, but maybe showing them how infuriating it is to hear that when it's coming from the other side might actually make them go, you know what? I don't like this. Kind of like little kids where you could scold little kids, but if you show them and have them experience that they don't like that, then they may be less inclined to do that.
Yeah, sure. Go do it. But the problem is, I think that a lot of people are sincere. And I say this like also pretty annoyed, also really fucking having done this conversation now for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days and having some basis to say this. There are people who are saying that the lesser of two evils in the Wisconsin governor's race is Tom Tiffany, the MAGA Republican, Tom Tiffany, who said he would overthrow the 2020 election. He would vote not to certify Joe Biden as the victor. Tom Tiffany, who is one of the most insane Trump sycophants. And that is not a joke. And so the irony, I'm sure it might have some effect on a lefty or something who's inclined to hear that, but I'm not so sure that everyone is being ironic.
Well, Pisco, I mean, those are just streamers, right? So how much could their opinion really change much? Like if they endorsed El Sayed.
Oh, I'm sure it won't matter. Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm being ironic again because they said the same thing about him.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean,
I don't think it'll matter, but
who are you? So are you talking about Destiny and Moot and who else? Who else was saying
I'm talking
this?
about Mooten, Whick, and everybody in my replies and Josiah's replies. But specifically, I asked of Mooten, I said, would you vote? I mean, I used the word, would you vote? And his answer was, yeah, in this context, yes. Whick, I don't think said vote, but he would say he wants Tom Tiffany to win in that context. And I just think that that's crazy. I mean, this is a traitor. This is a piece of shit. Yeah. This is I think that the Wisconsin governor's mansion is too important, given what we've seen with Wisconsin gerrymanders, with attempts to try to fuck with the election results from Trump specifically. You want to say that we want to be competitive in like 10 more elections. We got to get to those elections first, folks.
Could you steel man the argument? I'm just curious.
Oh my, yeah. I mean, I know it. It's something like the DSA is going to hurt our party brand. It's going to make Democrats like unable to win in competitive places. And that therefore it makes sense if you think that like Republicans are a threat to kill it in its crib now. And so we should vote for the MAGA Republican in Wisconsin and lose this race for the promise of having more electoral advantage in the future.
Which, by the way, is the Hassan argument against Kamala, which I think is fucking stupid. And if you're using that now and saying, well, look, if you get a moderate lib in, you'll disaffect voters. And that's what led to MAGA. It was Biden. It was Obama. And so we can't vote for her because that will just make MAGA worse. Right? Like, that's not how this works. We're talking about mitigating the worst parts of MAGA right fucking now. And the idea that this is like, oh, well, maybe the DSA will hurt us. And in like 4 years, 5 years down the line, the Democratic Party brand won't be so good. Hey, they're fucking cutting healthcare today. They're gutting USAID today. They're being fascist today. They're cracking down on free speech today. Do we give a shit about that? Or are we like doing these weird hypotheticals about how this is going to affect us maybe 5 years from now? Like, this is pissing me off, honestly.
I know we said we weren't going to do don't know call outs, but I got one from Benjamin Gilbert of PV. He said, PV is supporting libs in the general. We just announced our Senate plans, which includes Peltola in Alaska, Brown in Ohio, and likely Vindman in Florida if he beats Angie Nixon. Also lefties darlings like Abdul Troy and Tallarico. Now, I was familiar with the fact that PV has done like actual canvassing, advocacy, that kind of stuff for lib candidates. Whatever issues I've had with PV, that's not really been the issue.
Yeah, didn't they canvass for Ossoff and Warnock and all these other whatever you want to say? I just think that like people who and I'm seeing individuals saying like I'm not doing the steel man correctly. Go look at my exchange with Whick. Whick says it's like a game of chess, don't you know? I'm sacrificing my bishop to like protect to win the game. And so tell me why. I mean, there's kind of two strands of it, and it's unclear what someone is invoking at any given time. There's the strand of imminent illiberal takeover of the party and turn to Stalinism. There's that strand of it. And then there's a strand of they're going to make us so fucking unpopular we'll never win another election. And I just think that both things are just not justifiable bases to vote for a traitorous MAGA Republican who tried to steal the 2020 election in one of the most pivotal swing states in anticipation of the 2028 presidential election, which is the election that most matters. It's what you have to be focused on.
Yeah, like I'm open. If people were saying like, oh man, like DAC is crazy, I would vote for John Kasich over her. Okay, yeah, he's not a MAGA Republican. He's probably more moderate. He doesn't want to destroy liberal democracy with this org that's saying, destroy the Western civilization. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about MAGA Republicans. That's like where vote blue no matter who came from. It wasn't vote for the Dem every single time. This is politics. If you don't like the DSA people, primary.
Do you think the left will ever have that? You think the left will ever be like that? You think the left will ever give you that great? Like,
No, they won't. But who the fuck cares? Like they're they're deeply unserious and they don't have these principles. Yeah.
We call that shit out. It's fucking cucked. And I'll say it right now. It was cucked for Kyle Kalinske not to endorse in every single one of these elections between Trump from 2016 onward. It was cucked for Crystal Ball to not publicly do it. It was fucking cucked for Hassan not to be vocal about it, regardless of whether he actually did vote or not. It was cucked for all of these people, including and especially left-wing commentators. And I'm going to be consistent. If you want to go back on vote blue no matter who, and again, that is just a proxy for have a really, really high bar. I wouldn't vote for Hitler if he were a Democratic nominee. Yes, you're right. There are some lines. This person Hong does not cross the Hitler line for me, okay? And compared to a fascist, it makes me think, honestly, that some of the Republicans were right in one sense, that many of you weren't serious when you were calling Trump a fascist threat. That's what it makes me think.
Do you think it's kind of like, so I've obviously, go ahead, Guy. Sound like you were about to jump in there.
Oh, well, I just can say this is too serious of a position to give to a Republican Wisconsin governor. I mean, this is a swing state that plays a pivotal role in presidential elections. I think I'll take Hong any day over Tom Tiffany. I mean, that's a lot different than a congressional seat, one of 435 congressional seats. So I don't know why people are drawing the line there. Also, Hong has distanced herself from the national DSA platform, saying she doesn't support some of the crazier things.
I mean, listen, I wish she would just lie more. I don't know. Did you see her Fox News appearance?
Yes.
It was bad. It was really, really, really bad. And
very robotic.
Yeah, she's not a charismatic person. I agree.
It's not her charisma that's the problem. You know, I can tolerate charisma, rizless politicians. That's fine. But it was. I don't know. When I watched that, I legitimately asked myself, like, is this woman a plant? Like, is she actually here to like fuck the Democratic Party? Because I don't know how else to explain some of her answers, given that she's running for governor in a state that was ground zero for the 2020 riots, which have been used as a cudgel against the Democratic Party. I mean, still to this day, 6 years later. And so that did not inspire confidence in the general. I mean, I agree, Pisco, with what you're saying. I think on both ends, I think the analysis is wrong. The idea that there's an actual threat of an actual socialist takeover in the Democratic Party, I find just really laughable. And then on the other side of things, I disagree with the idea that any damage that Hong does to the party brand would somehow be more than the damage that Tom Tiffany would do, or any Republican as governor in Wisconsin. But, you know, I am reminded of the whole like Epstein fucking versus Hitler hypotheticals we did back in the day, segregationist thing, you know, and the argument that I heard from a lot of people was like, well, you know, if you elect a segregationist, it'll make the party look bad. So some people are capable of that kind of analysis. No,
I will grant that there are moments in which that might overtake the value of the given position. Maybe there is some line somewhere, and a segregationist would account, or a rapist would account, or a I don't know, Epstein, a reformed, revived zombie Epstein would also account, or Hitler would account. Like, all of this is fair game, to put aside like the policies or whatever, but it's just not before us. And if you think it is before us, then you're going to have to be like, well, there's this different line between the governor and the Senate. I would vote for Hong if she were a senator, but like, as IRI was suggesting, if the Senate is important enough for you to vote for Hong if she were the candidate for senator, then you should be just as dissuaded, I think, by the governorship in Wisconsin. I would almost argue that it's a toss-up between which is more important. I don't know about you guys. I mean, like, this is a key swing state. It could affect other races too, right? Because if you have unified control in Wisconsin, you could have another gerrymander. And we know what they've done with Wisconsin, both on the state gerrymander side and on the congressional gerrymander side. I mean, it has been one of the biggest disasters ever. That's why, by the way, Elon Musk was spending so much money and so much time in Wisconsin to win the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. It's just such an obvious trolley problem. And yeah, I don't really have the stomach for people who are having this traitorous opinion that we should promote Tom Tiffany as a means to some, vague and unsubstantiated end.
Right, because to be clear, is literally going farther than the shitty dumbass Hassan opinion, which is like, oh, I don't know, I'm not telling you what to do. You're literally saying vote for Republicans, which is like
Hassan never did that.
Even worse. But Guy, who was the politician that AOC and all the others came out against? She was a Democrat, and she was so anti-Semitic that was where Democrats drew the line and said, we're no, absolutely vote against this person.
That was a race in Texas, Galinda or something.
Right. And it's like, there are limits to vote blue no matter who, obviously, right? If this person is coming out and is explicitly saying like neo-Nazi rhetoric, as bad as MAGA is, right now, that's worse than MAGA. That is like, oh, you are like the Nick Fuenteses. Like, they're not there yet. They're getting there, but they're not there yet. So obviously it's still a trolley problem. It's not just if they have a D, but like you have to be able to make that calculus in your brain. But sorry, go ahead, Guy.
Well, I would challenge people. What do you think is more harmful? Election denialism fueled by a Republican governor in Wisconsin in 2028, undermining the election results, sowing doubt, helping Trump sow doubt, or a DSA governor who gets nowhere near accomplishing the most extreme stuff they want to do because they don't have the backup to do it, nor do they have the resolve, and they're already backing off their more extreme positions. I would argue the threat to our democracy by undermining the election results in 2028 is a much bigger concern right now.
Now, hang on a minute. I just got to ask the question. Is it Hong's job to court the moderates here?
Yes.
Like,
yes,
is it her job to like,
absolutely.
win those votes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
all right,
absolutely.
Okay. All right.
By the way, I want to wait. You guys, you got to call out in the chat. I want one. Slinks8 says, "quote Okay, but he literally said he would not promote. He said he would prefer." And Pisco tried to push him to say promote. Okay, you can say he didn't say endorse, but he said it would be his preference, and he said he would vote. I asked him specifically. I think it's at 38:20. Someone can get the timestamp. I put it in one of the comments. He said he would vote. So don't talk to me about clickbait this, clickbait
Is this Whick or Moot?
This is Mootin. This is Mootin. Whick never said it. But at a certain point, like, this distinction is meaningless to me. Oh, I prefer, but I wouldn't vote. I prefer, but I wouldn't endorse. Just fuck out of here. This is not a close call.
Well, he's not voting for the Republican.
No, he said that.
He said he would.
When you hopped on the stream with them. I watched it like an hour ago. He said, like, I would say vote for the Republican or don't vote.
Did Moot say that? I don't even remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And listen, it was a good conversation. Listen, I got less frustrated at that conversation. It is frustrating because there's a big delay with the internet. I don't know if it's good right now, but he was forthright, right? And he was like answering all the questions. And I thought that was like refreshing and very good and very cool. And I think it was a way better conversation than some of the other conversations I've had with people in like the Twitter spaces where they're just like dodging, dipping, and diving. He just bit every bullet. I mean, he had the jaws of titanium steel, and like it was, but like that makes it a more pleasant conversation. I don't have to like be pushing that hard, and he was very forthright, and I do appreciate that for Mootin. It was a pleasant conversation, but don't bite those bullets. Those are crazy bullets.
Guys, real quick, should we let Whick on? He's got a little bit of time before
please
do.
Get him involved.
All right, okay, I sent him a link.
I just want to give hold on. I just want to give people a heads up in my chat. We decided not to read donations on the pod because it was too distracting. So
yeah, there's too many. You guys gave too much money. You should not give us any money, in fact.
If you guys want to donate and do super chats in my chat, that's awesome, but we're not going to read it out, and I just want people to know that.
Oh, is he not here yet?
He is not here yet. I gave him the link.
Oh,
listen, I hear you, Pisco. I hear you. At the same time, I feel like it's cuckoldry, a form of cuckoldry, to like go after libs defending people who never believed in blue no matter who. Like I'm not going to do that. I just simply
defending them. What are you talking about?
I simply refuse.
What do you mean defending them? Like we're trying to defend the fucking results in given places. That's what we're doing. But you're like, oh, because it inures to the benefit of a left-wing person as opposed to a center-left person, then it's like you're sweeping. Was I sweeping for Kamala?
No, I didn't. I honestly didn't even see your post, so I don't know the extent of the commentary that you've given on this. But so I didn't have you in mind. I wasn't like throwing shade or anything like that.
Oh, there's the Whig class himself, the head honcho.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Josiah DM'd me or super chatted me. He's like, "Hey, DM Soy Pill to get on Lib and Learn."
Get Josiah in here too, man. Josiah, I know you're watching. Get in here, buddy.
Yeah,
come on in.
Me and Josiah had a little back and forth this morning.
Pull up a chair. You know you want to. Get in here. He can't resist. Watch. He'll join. Mark my words.
Don't worry. As we talk, I'm sure he will want to have a few things to say.
Well, before we argue, Wick, do you want to promote your Liberal Action Network? What does that do? I don't know if I want to pay money to do Liberal Action. I just want to go places and canvas.
We're not asking for money.
Okay.
We're not asking for funds or anything like that. Right now, the Liberal Action Network, it's very new. It's something that has been cooking up for a while, but they just released it on my birthday, which was a few days ago.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Well, thank you. And it basically is liberal streamer NATO, like we talked about. It is for real. It's for
an attack on one is an attack on all. Article 5.
It's a defensive alliance, right? Where people who have consistently been coming at our throats, right? We can communicate together, work together, because again, alone we get isolated, we get separated, we feel like it's hopeless, like there's no one around that shares our values. But it's a place and a system where we can just support each other and promote liberalism
and brigade lefties and snark on them. Yes, listen, I'm all for it. Look, you guys go off on your Liberal Action Network, and I think that like that's all cool and base, and we should defend ourselves against bad faith attacks and shit from lefties and stuff like that. And if Josh Shapiro becomes the nominee and there's like this bullshit about the murder shit, I'm going to be adding the Vanguard at some point. I want to have a debate with them because I haven't been hearing them go a little crazy. That's all cool, whatever. What the fuck does it have to do with this conversation?
Oh no!
People asked me, and I
my bad. Sorry.
Sorry.
That's on me. That's on me. I haven't mentioned.
I don't listen to people talks either. To be clear,
we're not talking about your fucking book right now.
All right. Also, we have to push the Pac-Man conversation. Heads up.
Oh yeah, we rescheduled. Pac-Man's a very busy man.
Wick, go ahead.
So is Wick, are you in the camp that would vote Republican? I'm not trying to put any evil on you. I honestly have no idea why you're up here. No offense. I'm happy to have you up here, but I don't know what position do you have that has brought you to this table?
So I think that if I were to be in Wisconsin and Hong were to win the nomination, I think that I would not vote. I would choose the couch.
So, but you would prefer the Republican, as you said in the tweet exchange.
Hold on. If I had my preference, we wouldn't have Hong as a nominee.
I know, but given the general, you did say now when IRI is asking you, you don't want to disappoint your like dad, and IRI has this like very fatherly presence about him. He does. And I look up to him. I think everyone should look up to him. And you're hiding your power level. You said in our Twitter reply that your preference is that the MAGA Republican Tom Tiffany in a matchup with Francesca Hong.
I think it's better for the Democratic Party. Yes, I think it's. So
why not say it with your chest? Why be like my preference is this entire thing never happened in the first place?
Because when you say it's my preference, you act as it signals that it's my first choice. It's not. We are in a situation, however, where I don't get my first choice. I don't get my preference. And since we are in a situation where Hong has, I think that Hong threatens liberalism in many of the same ways that MAGA does. And I find it more insidious than MAGA because there are people who would never defend MAGA who will defend Hong. And that's why I think she's a greater threat. Now, look, I think that when it comes down to it, Hong's not going to win the general. I think that's what
just
the evidence
dodge.
Suggests.
That's like just doing a prediction. We're not asking you for your Nate Silver take, bro. We're asking you for your outlook in terms of who you want to win, not what you expect.
Again, I think it's better for the Democratic Party if she loses. Yes.
I don't think we need to speculate too much. I mean, I don't know if we've ever had a DSA governor, but we've had DSA mayors, I think, right? And we've had, people. They've had some prominence in like local politics. They've done decently well at the state level in some cases. And what was the worst that happened? They did some stupid policies that they ended up rolling back a couple years later. So when you say like Hong represents just as much of a threat to liberal democracy as MAGA, that seems kind of crazy to me, Wick, a little bit, because MAGA, as a political movement, a majority of them think that 2020 was stolen, and they straight up literally tried to steal an election.
El Said's been playing with, and El Said isn't DSA, but and I will vote for El Said if he wins. I want to make that clear because the Senate's just more important. But I think that El Sayed's been playing with election denialism too, saying that if he loses, it's because of AIPAC and
no, I agree. I agree that stuff is
voters.
cringe. But that's not even in the same universe as what Trump did in 2020.
My argument here is that if Hong were to win in the general, it would make it harder to defeat MAGA in the future. And let me lay this out for you. Like, we know that Hong is underperforming, and most of the DSA candidates are underperforming the environment right now, right? So we're in like a D+8, D+7 environment. They are either underwater and probably not going to win, or they have taken winnable races and made them either a toss-up or likely red, likely Republican. If she wins, what's going to happen in the primary is people are going to want to go towards, or be more likely to go towards her style of politics and campaign with the same people that she's been campaigning with, right? That I do feel are an existential threat to them.
But I would grant you that, Whick, and I would still say that that's not that's a less bad outcome than having a Republican governor.
And how is that different from the Hassan camp saying the exact same thing about Kamala? Like, hey, yeah, obviously trolley problems, she's not as bad, but if you elect her, then we're going to get more liberalism. We're going to get more do-nothing Democrats.
Because
they're not
I
going
like
to push the party
liberalism, and
line.
I don't like illiberalism.
And MAGA is
That's
going to take over because it's going to disaffect voters, and people will say, well, they're not delivering. Like, this is the exact same argument that I said is total bullshit from him, and that's how, like, part of the reason we get millions of people dead from U.S. aid cuts. That's how we get all our institutions covered.
The difference is they're being shown a pizza and saying, oh, I can't eat pizza, it's poisonous, okay? And then I'm being shown a plate of cyanide and saying, I can't eat that, it's
You're doing
poisonous.
the Nina Turner thing.
We're making the same argument, but the facts of the matter are not the same.
You're doing the Nina Turner shit
I'm correct
thing.
and they are incorrect. But
so that's the only argument is I'm right and they're wrong? Like, you don't have, like, polling to show this will happen down the line?
I just pointed to what's happening with El Sayed and Hong, right? Hong has taken a winnable race and made it so we are going to have much harder time winning that. Can we acknowledge that reality?
Well, the
100% yes.
Yeah, the polls say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we don't want that to happen in the future, we don't want this constant taking winnable races if we just have generic Democrat or someone just fucking moderate, and then making them much harder to win.
This is an argument.
If I may finish.
Yeah, but isn't that like this is why we shouldn't elect her in the primary? Like, I don't want to vote for her in the primary.
Yes, this is a primary argument, not a general argument.
No, it's a general argument too. If she wins the primary, if she wins the primary, and then by some miracle she wins the general, what's going to happen is there's going to be more people. We knew we could get it.
I'm
not saying anything though. I'm not saying anything though. I'm just gonna sit here and show you that I'm conquering my fucking addiction, and I can be here and I can be in the midst of this, and I'm not gonna say a word. So
not to leak any private DMs, but Josiah, he called me a couple nights ago, just crying. He's like, Niels, I can't stop. It's hours and hours. I'm stuck in these calls. I can't stop super chatting. I can't stop entering these arguments, and I want to quit. My wife, she says, Josiah, please come to dinner. Please. And he won't come. He's locked himself in the garage. He won't stop joining. And this is our intervention, Josiah. This is all of us in a circle around you saying,
you actually baited me here to have me an intervention. Whick doesn't actually believe a goddamn thing he just said. It was all to provoke me to get here.
True. No, you know what? You got
get Moon in here.
I will say I missed dinner before.
What the fuck is Mootin?
It's very unfair right now. You guys are going to need more guys, okay? It's very unfair for you.
We need four more.
You're going to need more guys.
Whick, I'm curious, what is your reaction to my argument I made a few minutes ago about the governor of Wisconsin will play a role in the certification of the 2020 election results and could undermine public trust in our democracy? Isn't that worse than any damage DSA could do to our party through Hong as governor?
Yeah, specifically, a candidate had said, I want to subvert the election and certify Trump, knowing that he did not win, basically.
That obviously is a risk, and it's something worth keeping in mind when everyone has to make this choice for their own. I don't mean to downplay that.
Well, you're saying it's not as important.
Yes, because I think the other threat is much more dire than that.
Stealing the election is worse than someone not even committing to doing the craziest thing on their platform.
I don't think it'll work.
We don't think prison abolition will work.
So you're the Ben Shapiro. The guardrails will hold, so we're good. We can just keep electing these people who are going to try to subvert the entire democratic process.
We don't. This problem, MAGA is waning right now. Their influence is waning. They are being beaten on every front. In polls, in special elections, we see us flipping seats from red to blue consistently.
So stop keeping the pressure up on him and vote for them. Even is that what the argument is?
I can't finish the argument, right?
You're triggering me. This is ridiculous. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought MAGA was a fucking existential fascist threat, and they're like, they're on their way out. The guy's talking about running for a third fucking term.
Hold on. What is Trump's approval rating right now?
It's really bad. He just crossed like 30.
I think it's the fifth lowest ever, right?
Yeah, but Whick, who cares? Who cares if he doesn't fucking win the election if he tries to fucking steal it?
That is a problem and a threat. But
that's a risk I'm gonna take.
A little one that I'm willing to take to just make sure Hong doesn't win.
Hong, look, so say they try, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but say they try another false slate of electors scheme, right? Where they get the swing states that go blue, inshallah, in 2028, right? They put out a false slate of electors, say it was stolen, and they send it to the Congress. And J.D. Vance is a spineless cuck and will just do whatever Trump says.
You don't have to say because they've all said they would do this, by the way. J.D. Vance said, I would have certified for Trump. So, okay.
Yes. And then when he does say, okay, we're going to accept these false slate of selectors, what happens? It goes to the House, doesn't it?
Is that what happens? I don't think anybody knows.
You're asking the procedural?
No, I'm pretty sure that's what happens. It will go to, because I watched Dev's video on this.
There are many different stages to it. So if you're trying to interfere through Congress, then yes, the House can vote as House delegation, as a state delegation.
Yeah, so
and then it's out of 50. But it's not just that. Hang on. So there's layers to this. The first was just to have Mike Pence declare Trump the victor. The second was to have the state actors actually send the official slates to be the Trump slate. So to obviate the need for congressional support and just have the governor send over slates of electors. And that's why he went after those state electors first. Remember that? That's why he had these people on the phone. Raffensperger, he brought in the Michigan guys. Like, this is why the state actors matter.
Wait,
because there's multiple levels.
Wick was about to say something here, and he's about to walk into a trap, but go ahead, Wick.
Or walk into a trap.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's going to go to the House, correct? After
that's one avenue.
We can't know which slate of electors is true. We're going to have to go to the House and vote on it, right? That's as I understand.
That's one.
No, wait. No, Pisco, don't let him finish. Let him finish.
Is that correct? Am I correct in this?
You're kind of correct.
Kind of correct. How am I wrong?
Well, wait. Finish your thought. Wait, finish your thought. Don't let's let him do the punchline.
I think I know where you're going.
Yeah.
Okay. If we are going to want in 2028 to maximize our chance of stopping that, the thing we need to do is ensure we win the House. Would that be logical? Correct?
Yes, but here's the problem. Winning the House is not enough. Do you know why?
Well,
who was Speaker of the House on January 6th?
In general.
No. Who was Speaker of the House on January 6th, 2021?
The Speaker of the House in 2021, I don't remember.
It was Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi.
Fair enough.
Simply having a majority in the House doesn't protect you because it's about the state delegations. And guess which party has more state delegations than the other party? The Republicans.
State delegations, that would be Republicans, correct?
Correct. So if it were to go to the House and the House were the ultimate arbiter of who would win at the election, it would be Republicans, even with a Democratic majority.
Hold on. How would that work, though?
It's 50. So it's 50 states, and every member votes within their delegation, and the majority is the vote for the state. That's the fucked up system we have.
So
I mean, even if it wasn't, by the way, like, this is where I thought you were going, Josiah. Like, the governor is going to affect any kind of gerrymander that's going to occur. The governor could literally have an effect on the House of Representatives just based on, like, the thing about it. With
Hold
Newsom.
on, no, not for 2028, sir, because
who?
Time. Again, who's currently governor in Wisconsin?
Right now, it's Evers.
Evers, right? Evers, as I understand it, is an election denier, is he?
No, but if Tiffany wins, Tiffany would be seated for the remainder of between January 2027.
28 is what matters.
Yeah, until January 3rd, 2028. And remember, the new House is seated before the election is certified on January 6th. So
I don't believe that's true, actually.
Wait, can I jump in? Because I feel like we're getting a little lost in the weeds here. What is happening is we have two options in primaries. We have DSA people and we have the not DSA people. And in the places where DSA people are winning, we're now saying the only way to cut the cancer out, to make sure they don't win, is to vote for MAGA Republicans or not vote. Not hey, what happened in this primary that made us get rat fucked so hard we didn't win and beat these people that apparently have this so unelectable platform that they shouldn't be winning, but they still are. The voters are picking these people. So liberals, if we want these people out who have crazier ideas, we need better fucking candidates. And the idea that the solution to cutting DSA out of the tent is let's elect MAGA is fucking insane to me, regardless of whether or not you think the guardrails are going to hold. Like, this whole conversation is like, we're so past the, hey, why don't we run better politicians? Why don't we actually make sure that we can address voters the way that they should feel being heard? Well, why are
you getting mad at Whick right now and not?
Because he's saying basically the only way to do this is
and not mad at Hong for courting his vote.
He's also.
I'm not mad at Hong. I want Hong to get as many voters as she can.
Well,
I'm mad at Whick for saying
it's her job to earn the votes.
If Wick's, no, it's fine. He could do it. I mean, look, I get it because these are dumb arguments from the left. And if you repeat them, it's like, I understand these dumb arguments. But the point is, if Hong is unable to court Whick because Wick's position is, Hong, you're so bad, I want a MAGA instead of you, and I think MAGA is better down the line, what the fuck is she going to say to him?
I just want to say for the record, I was correct. They are seated on January 3rd, 3 days before January 6th. I was right. I'm always right. Don't question me on Senate procedure shit.
But again, the gerrymander won't come into effect. There's just not enough time to gerrymander in.
It's 2 years, Wick. What are you talking about?
Okay, when's the next House election? 2028?
2028, right? Yeah.
2028?
So you have the 2026 midterms here in November, and then the next House races are during the presidential election in 2028.
In 2028, yes.
They definitely could gerrymander in those 2 years for sure.
Let me try.
I'm not sure how much of an impact the gerrymandering would have.
I don't see that as going to be that's not going to be salient. It's not going to be able to be outcome determinative on this. But what will be outcome determinative, and what we know will happen, is that if Hong wins the general election, right, and we have to fight for all these primaries where we take winnable seats and we make them much harder to win, we're going to have to need more resources. We're going to have to need more time, effort.
But here's the thing, Wick. I would grant you all of that. I agree. Yes. I think if she, is the general candidate, and if she wins, it's going to make Democrats' jobs harder. It's impossible to quantify. Is that really going to be specific to that region of the country? Is it even going to affect a race like Alaska? I don't know. But the angle that I want to hit you with now is like, why wouldn't we just anticipate that the same thing that happened during Trump 1.0 is going to happen this time, which is to say, like, the DSA is going to have they're going to have good nights, which relative to them is 4 people in the Congress or whatever. And they'll probably have another good night in 2028. But when we look at the trends right now with Trump's approval rating, and it is abysmal, and no one has ever, as far as I understand, nobody comes back from that kind of polling. They just continue to go down. And so what I think is the most likely outcome here, Wick, is the same thing that happened last time, which is the next time we have a Dem trifecta, the DSA is going to burn out, and they're going to plateau, and then they're going to decline because they have no pitch when a Democrat's in office. Then then their shit is unpopular. Hence Bowman and Cory Bush losing their primaries.
You would grant me that the DSA is currently on this cycle expanding its seats. It's expanding its reach. It's not a lot.
Yeah, this is like saying they doubled from 2% to 4%.
But it is getting worse, right?
I just listen. Do you see them? Do you see them realistically?
Is that not true? What I just said?
Again, but it's like saying it's going from 1% to 2%, right?
Yeah, but that's why it's easy to nip in the bud now. I don't want it to get to 20% or 25%.
No,
I do no. Listen to me.
It's not easy to nip in the bud. You're saying the solution is elect MAGA. That's not an easy solution.
Shut the fuck up and let me talk real quick. It actually doesn't, like, we're not nipping anything in the bud. You understand that when Republicans are in office, the DSA does better, right?
Well, that's why they try to get Republicans elected. Yeah.
Demonstrably the case. They elect more DSA people. They're more successful when Republicans are in office at the state level and the federal level. So, if you acknowledge that, I don't understand how you could abide a Republican governor.
One seat, one governorship. Again, we know in 2026 that we are going to, in at least every metric I see, we're taking the House. We're getting 230 seats. We might even take the Senate. That's up in the air, and it's going to be harder. But those things are destined to happen, right? What's going to happen if Hong wins? Huh?
I mean, destined to happen. The betting markets right now have a 15% chance of Dems losing the House. Now, you can say it's likely, and we would agree. It's likely.
Sure. Okay. But most likely.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch. And this beast is not done yet. And we don't want to hand them a crucial swing state governorship.
What we don't want to do is hand DSA this kind of victory that they can use to galvanize and get worse. And so it's not just during the Republican years where they get stronger, but it becomes something that happens in other years as well.
They will burn this is out.
I think you guys are I think you guys are really, really underselling the threat here of these people, right? They are illiberal. They are going to make it harder to beat MAGA. They're going to make it harder to elect liberal Democrats. This is something that they say they will do, right? You got Mike from PA, you got Kyle Kulinski, you got Emmett Vigeland, all saying that they are enemies to the Democratic Party, right? That they are, I believe Mike PA said he was going to depress Democratic turnout until we bent the knee to the left or whatever.
But that's what you're saying now. We hate those people for saying that, and you're saying, and maybe we should vote for MAGA.
No, the best way to beat MAGA is to elect MAGA, you fool.
I have advocated to sit out and not support.
So you disagree with Mooten when Mooten says vote?
Did Mooten say to vote for
Yes, he sure did.
Republicans?
Yes, he sure did.
I think he's wrong for that.
I fucking call Hassan out for this shit. I fucking hate that a guy with 2 to 3 million fucking followers and all this money, like, look at what he's doing now for these candidates that finally align with him. It's like, hey, why the fuck didn't you do that when it mattered to beat Trump? And you're essentially saying the same thing as he is and saying, well, down the line, my calculus is that 3 years later, this will make it easier to win. And I don't see that right now. I see, hey, this is a governor who might not certify the election, right?
My enemy is not just MAGA. One of the things that is frustrating me is you use MAGA as this blank check to cede every single vote to the left that we can. And it's a problem, right? It cannot be that because MAGA is running, then we have no lines on our side. That we never draw something in the sand and say, this is
we said that earlier before you were here. There was the candidate in Texas
that was passed this line for me, right? It's not just MAGA that is my enemy. It's authoritarianism.
Why is Hong so bad to you? Why is Hong so bad in particular?
Well,
did you see who she was campaigning? Well, first of all, did you see who was campaigning with? Like, I think yesterday, maybe today. This person praises Mao Zedong, who killed 40 million people. This person is playing with great replacement theory, right? Lying about what the New York Times says, claiming that Israel is invading Muslims to Spain. It's crazy shit, right?
She's campaigning with Hassan.
He wants America to be destroyed as it is. He wants to abolish private property. He wants to what's the other, he's a terrorist supporter.
You don't even need to do guilt by association with her, though. Like, you can just listen to her stated positions.
Yeah, well, she has it's all of the above.
She holds positions that are broadly toxic to the entire party. And Whick is right that if she wins the general and is the governor of that state, the Fox News and the right-wing media machine are going to have a fucking field day with her, and it is going to drag down the party. It's 100% guaranteed. There's just the positions that she was pushing on Fox News are so unbelievably toxic to the Democratic Party. We know this to be true.
Yeah, and
so,
even the things that she's disavowed. You remember? Do you guys remember Project 2025? Right when they?
Oh no, I forgot about that.
And then Trump was like, "Oh, I don't even know what this is." Right? I disavow it. Project 2025. I've never heard of it. And then when they got elected, they just started implementing 2025. I think about that a lot when it comes to the DSA and DSA candidates going on and saying, "I've never heard about that. I disavow that shit."
And that's why it's Lord of the Flies in Mamdanieville, right? I mean, that's why we have no private property in Mamdanieville.
Mamdani is a mayor. His power is limited, and he's letting in people like
governor,
the DAC,
and the governor
who are
can't
going
abolish
to do
the
shit
police
like that
or
once they get
prisons,
enough power. I don't know.
I wish you would.
Like, why would I ever vote someone who's like, "Hey, Whick, I'm going to like my stated policy position is we want to kill you. We're going to murder you." But don't worry, don't worry.
You hate it.
We can't do it now. It's kind of silly to even be mad at me with it now. We don't have enough power to murder you. We don't have the strength or anything like that. So don't worry about it. That's our stated policy position, to murder you.
Is that her stated policy position? She wants to
murder you.
I'm illustrating a point. I don't think they're actually trying to murder me, right? But I'm saying if someone is saying that we want to abolish the Senate, we want to.
And if someone is saying that they want to steal the 2020 election.
Yes, that's bad. That's why I'm not voting for them either.
Yeah, but which one's worse?
Yeah, but sitting out an election, you risk the worst one, Tiffany, winning.
I don't know if that's
give your tacit approval.
Well, wait, okay, no, take a step right now. You don't know which is worse. One's worse. They're not equally bad. Do you think MAGA is worse?
No, they are worse in different ways, and it depends.
No,
do you feel
one is worse? One's going to be worse. You have to decide for yourself right now. Is MAGA worse?
Which is getting worse?
The DSA
Burned
candidate?
Death or shot? Depends where you get shot.
Yeah, if you make a metaphor that's completely disanalogous, you can just completely deflect from the question. But I'm upset with you right now. You can't just sit out like a little bitch. I've had this fucking energy for the left for 2024, and now you're like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Fucking pick.
I disagree.
One is going to be worse. Do you
premise.
think Hong is worse? Do you think MAGA's worse?
I disagree with your premise. I think that they are.
They're equally bad. They're just both equally as bad as it can possibly get.
I think that they are worse in different ways. One is worse when it comes to Democratic electability and long-term survival of the party and long-term ability to beat back the Republicans. One is worse short-term, right?
Whick,
so it depends. Is short-term worse or is long-term worse?
But Whick,
and I don't know the answer to that, so it's hard to rank.
But Whick, we don't know what's going to happen in the long term. A lot of things can change between now and that end result that you're talking about, right? Like a lot of twists and turns. But we do know that 2 years from now, Tom Tiffany is going to be like, this election was rigged. My swing state ain't certifying this shit. And here's a whole bucket of problems.
I think that is just as predictable as us having a big problem winning 2028, 2030, 2032. I think that these are equally big problems.
Okay, well, Whick, then just say this. Say MAGA's worse, but I think that electing Hong might make it easier for MAGA to win in 2028. Like, at least then you can say, okay, maybe Hong wouldn't be as bad as MAGA, right?
Again, that's not the only reason she's bad. That is the reason I'm pitching to you.
But you would have to, if you are a Wisconsin voter, like, and you have influence, you tell your people that live in Wisconsin are going to vote.
Sit home.
What are you going to tell them? Just don't vote?
Yes, I will tell them, hey, look, vote your conscience, but for me, I'm sitting out.
That's what fucking Hassan did in 2024, and I will never stop giving him shit for that. This pisses me off. What the hell?
Kamala, who was a strong liberal
but genocide. I can't tell people in good faith to do it. It was a genocide. Right? I can't tell you. Vote your conscience. I won't tell you what to do.
Correct. That's the difference here. There's different facts.
Oh, okay. I'm just right, and he's wrong. No, you're both retarded.
Yes,
I'm sorry. This is so stupid.
Kamala is just better than Hong in the DSA in every
No, but I think it might make the Democrats harder to win in 2028 because Kamala will be feckless, and then MAGA will win even harder in 2028. So look, it's just a calculus. I just have to vote for MAGA or sit out. I can't tell you to do that. Sorry.
Okay, you're just wrong here, though.
I'm fucking not actually holding this
position.
You are
wrong.
It's retarded.
You are trying to compare them saying the sky is red and me saying no, it's actually blue, and you're like, I don't know. Both sides have a point here. No, you look out the fucking window and you see if the sky is red or sky is blue.
Wait, can I ask, who do you hope wins? Even though you can't win, let's say you sit it out. Who would you hope wins?
Man, I hope. I think I think it'd be better if Hong lost. I think it would be better if Hong lost.
Hong lost.
So you would prefer MAGA win?
I don't know why you're being cagey about it. Say it with your fucking chest, Wick.
Yeah,
I keep saying it.
At least be like
look. I'm not going to parrot your lines. I'm going to say it how I want.
Yeah, because you're scared.
If it's better than wait, Wick.
Peer pressure
if it's better that Hong loses,
box,
if it's better that
right?
Hong loses, Wick, why don't you just endorse MAGA right now and say, well, I want Hong to lose, and the best way for that to happen is to win.
I'm saying don't.
Why not? You want Hong to lose, right? That's the better option.
I think it would be better for Hong to lose.
Okay, well, there's one way for that to happen, and that's for MAGA to win, right?
Sit out. Don't.
No.
And let MAGA
Hong
win.
will lose if MAGA wins. This is a one or the other.
Clarifying though, Wick, are you hoping that taking this position now, 90 days before the November election, would get Hong to move and change her position, or is there nothing there?
Yeah, look,
there's no redemption for
if Hong repents and Hong says, you know what, I disavowed the DSA, Hassan Piker, you're a fucking psycho.
That's leverage. We call that leverage.
I switch my position immediately. Boom. We are back on the Hong train, baby.
But you're going to hold out until the voting booth, right? And if she doesn't do it, you won't endorse.
Gettable voter.
I don't think she's going to do that.
Okay, that's not your goal then in doing this. You're convinced she will not change, and you're not trying to pressure her to change in any way.
My goal here, my advocacy is for people to have some lines and some standards. Because MAGA isn't and I really want to stress this. MAGA isn't the only threat to our liberal democracy. The DSA and the left is also a threat. The far left I'm talking about. I'm not talking Soy Pill or Pisco or any of the people here. I'm talking the far left.
Which is worse right now, Wick?
They are a fundamental threat. And I think you guys are just
now?
downplaying this all the time.
Wick, which is worse right now?
To get it through your head.
Which is worse right now, Wick? Is it the group of people that control all three branches of government, or the people, as Hutch has pointed out, who have won 4
control
seats?
All three branches of government are more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But if the DSA controlled all three branches of government, they would be just as dangerous.
Yeah, and if my grandma had wheels, she'd be a fucking bike, but they don't.
Do you not understand?
Why don't you say, hey, let's
easier to ride her
in the fucking primary. Let's get these people out because I don't like their policies. They're a danger to the Democrats. They're a danger to Western civilization. But once they win,
because we've
let's
seen this.
Fucking stop MAGA. Let's not let MAGA win and say, I really hope MAGA wins because that means Hong loses.
We saw this is the exact
you're
same
legitimizing those
that the
fuck-ass lefties who come into my chat and say, scratch a liberal, a fascist bleeds. These people would vote for a Republican. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You guys are fucking crazy. You're not on my side. And then you come out and say, I don't know. I kind of want MAGA to win this election. And I'm like, wow, you just proved all those retards right. That's how mad I am at you. You're making lefties think they're right.
You can be mad, but I'm just correct here. Because again, the argument you're making is that we have to accept literally almost anything. In order to beat MAGA,
it's a lesser of two evils.
That's going to allow us.
The lesser of two evils voting. I've always been this way.
Party.
Wait, is Keith asking to join Live and Learn? Keith Edwards is in my chat.
Keith Edwards,
awesome. Wait, let me ask.
He's
massive. Just quickly.
If he wants on, you guys should bring him on.
Yeah,
my opinion.
He's cool, dude.
Is he asking? Is that what chat said or no? Keith might be trolling me here.
Keith, come on. Message, or let Soy Pill or Hutch know if you want on. And
I will fight all of you. Okay.
No, we gotta be. There's a dog pile going on here. I feel like reflexively, I want to take the opposite position.
But Wick, so just
go ahead.
Straight up, who's worse right now, DSA or MAGA?
I think MAGA is worse because they control the government, but the DSA is worse because they're so insidious, and there's a difference.
But Wick,
so the immediate threat then is MAGA.
But it can, again, yes. But if we want to, because it's not just the immediate threat. Like MAGA is not going to go away, right?
But here's the thing,
we all understand that, correct?
We won't have those fights in the future if we don't get through 2028. You know what I'm saying? Like there is nothing to worry about in the future about DSA.
When we
talk
about 2028, defeating DSA now will make it easier to defeat MAGA in 2028.
Okay, but what can be done? Hong is headed towards victory.
Again,
we could say let's sit out and hope she loses to MAGA. I guess that's the solution.
So what if she wins? What's the strategy then?
If she wins, then we have a much harder time.
Do we need a really moderate candidate for Republican so that the moderate Republican can beat her in 2030, whatever? Like, this is so crazy. Wait, why don't you stop being a pussy and just say you want MAGA to win instead of like, I'll sit it out. You're doing the same exact shit.
It's not being a pussy, I'm being honest.
All right.
I'm being straightforward.
You prefer she loses, which means MAGA wins. So you prefer MAGA wins. Just
hold on.
You won't say it because
I want to interrogate the claim that you said that we're understating the threat of DSA. I'm just curious.
Yes.
Do you think that, for example, like Do you think that the threat of DSA is literally that in 10 years time, 40% of the country are going to think that we shouldn't have any immigration enforcement? Are you afraid of their specific ideology and policy platform actually being broadly popular with the electorate?
Well, no, but they don't need to be popular with the electorate because they're not popular with the electorate now to get into positions of influence and power within the party, to make the party have bad positions that cause us to never win an election again.
Did that happen? Did that happen with Biden, for example? I mean, he didn't adopt any of the like crazy positions. He made concessions to the left, but he didn't make concessions to like DSA. He wasn't like super extreme, right?
Sure, and Biden was a great president, and he made some concessions to the progressives.
I mean, I agree with you that the threat of DSA is that they can rat fuck the party and help Republicans win future elections. But I just when I look at their past performances and just the trend lines that have occurred throughout this entire era of Trump, it's just so obvious that they will never be broadly popular enough to. So like their illiberalism to me is like, I think it's bad.
Arguments about MAGA.
No,
when in 2012, 2011, 2013, when the Tea Party was starting getting ready and MAGA was just kind of like a baby in the crib, I heard those same arguments from many of my Republican friends.
But DSA's policy platform is considerably less popular than MAGA's, like by orders of magnitude, right?
For now, yes.
Well, that's why I asked you. Do you think it's plausible that like in 10 years, 40% of the country are going to say like we shouldn't have borders or immigration enforcement?
I think it's possible. Is it likely? I don't know how likely. I can't.
I don't think that's going to happen.
So
I really.
Wait. I'm triggered by chat. Everyone's saying I don't have this fucking energy for lefties. Doesn't know who the fuck I am and how I've been yelling at them for the past 2 years about how they threw away their fucking power and votes. Shut the fuck up. You
to be clear, hey, I just want to make it clear too. Soy Pill's my buddy. Everyone
Whick is my boy.
We like.
Yeah, I do like
each
Whick a
other.
lot.
We're
I know
friends.
you can take it.
We're fighting.
I wouldn't be yelling at Whick this
okay.
hard if I didn't love him. Okay.
Exactly. Look, I don't call people. If I didn't respect you, I wouldn't be fighting you. I'd be like, okay, whatever, and just.
Wait, Josiah had a question. I want to hear it.
Yeah. So Whick. So I'll take what Hutch said there at face value. I don't know what the relative polling popularity is between DSA's positions versus MAGA's or the Tea Parties, but Hutch, knows what he's talking about. So let's just take that at face value. So there's so many differences between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, DSA and MAGA and the Tea Party. One thing that frustrates me when I see this in my mentions, all of my fucking mentions about, well, look what happened to Republicans, look what happened to Republicans. And when we go through all the many reasons that the differences, the major differences between the two parties, it seems like it just goes right over people. It just washes off. The fact that something happened to the Republican Party does not mean that it will happen to the Democratic Party.
Not
because
necessarily.
Correct. So do
you think we're like immune to it?
I think that it is much less likely. I'm not going to sit here and say that in no timeline in the multiverse could some sort of MAGA style takeover of the Democratic Party occur, but you, in my opinion, should be justifying your fear, because the other thing is this. You have the fact that the Republican Party is much more demographically and ideologically homogenous compared to the Democratic Party. You have what Hutch said about the relative popularity of the positions that the fringe elements took before they eventually conquered the Republican Party. And you have the fact that constitutionally speaking, the Democratic Party is infinitely more likely to fight amongst themselves and to eject not only members, but leaders. We effectively kicked out the sitting president of the United States, the most powerful person in the world, because we thought he was an electoral liability. Yep. The Republican Party is just not capable of that. And then the other thing is this. Okay. We just don't see a history of it in the Democratic Party. And despite all of these differences, nobody has yet to account for that. Nobody who takes your position, not Destiny, not Mooten, not you, nobody has said, okay, here's why I still fear that this thing could occur within the Democratic Party.
Go ahead. Lay it out. So this idea that we don't have a history of this is just not true. If you look at the party from 2012 and its evolution to today, we have much more left-leaning people of influence and power. Like, for example, last cycle, it would have been unheard of for anyone to be campaigning with Hassan Piker. That just would not have happened.
Oh my God. I mean, he wasn't involved in that kind of shit. He himself didn't involve himself in that. That's the metric?
No, that's one of the metrics. Are you saying I'm wrong? That if Hassan Piker
Pisco.
was
I mean,
doing it back
the
then,
Overton
that
window has
people would
shifted
be
substantially in the
campaigning with
last
him
10
back
years.
then? I don't
No,
think
that's
they
not what
would.
he just said. No, I agree that the party has become more left wing. Part of the reason you know that is because Joe Biden was the most progressive president of our lifetime, and Joe Biden was influenced heavily by people like Bernie Sanders and other very left wing members of the Democratic Party. I'm not denying that, but the question is like, if the metric is Hassan Piker wouldn't have done that back in the day, or Hassan Piker didn't do that with them. Okay, but isn't it the whole complaint that he didn't used to do this kind of like intervention for Democrats?
My whole complaint with
Whoa,
Hassan is he's a terrorist
hang on.
supporting anti-Semite.
Whether
Whether he campaigns with this or not.
Keith said he joined. By the way, I just texted him. Keith said he'll join.
That feels a bit disingenuous, Pisco. Because like,
what's disingenuous?
Because you're saying like, well, wasn't the complaint that he wasn't out there like supporting Democrats? It's like, well, that's not really what we're talking about, right?
No.
He's only out there right now supporting.
I'm saying something different. What I'm saying is, if he was not like even involving himself in that time period, then there's nothing to compare X versus Y, right? I agree that like it's not the whole like him not being involved in favor of Kamala or Biden, that kind of stuff. I'm just saying.
I understand.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Did you send him the link, Josiah?
I'm sending it right now via Twitter DM.
Okay, great. And he can get in.
What side is Keith
I can fight
on
1,
here?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you. But here's the thing. In this Pisco, this is a problem I have with you. Like, I'm trying to paint a picture of a wall, and every time I paint a brick, you're like, we gotta stop at the brick and we gotta litigate this brick right now. Let me get through it, and then you can take me brick by brick.
Is the overall that the party has shifted to the left? If it's that, I'll grant it. Yes, it's true.
Okay, well, that just shifting to the left isn't sufficient for this, right? And I think we both agree on that. It wouldn't be sufficient to make my case.
Agreed.
It does kind of show that the party can change over time, right? Like Josiah, you're pointing to a snapshot of right now. You don't think, and to be clear, I agree with you. Like this instant, tomorrow we're not going to have DSA just take over in a night of the broken glass, like light of the long knives. That's not going to happen. But my fear is this is going to start a ball rolling that's going to be harder and harder and harder to stop as it gets bigger and bigger.
Right, but what's the way to stop that, Whick? Better policies, better politicians, winning primaries, not electing MAGA so that they don't have the position for a few years. Like, you need to be able to like nip this in the bud. If we talked about how Republicans should have stopped MAGA,
how was Biden's policy?
We should have elect more Democrats. Like, that's not what they'd be saying. They say we need to run better MAGA or anti-MAGA politicians.
Good overall,
what? Yeah,
Biden's policies.
Of course.
Was that sufficient to win?
No, you need better rhetoric.
So saying we can just win by better policies is kind of silly.
Okay,
right?
How are you stopping the DSA wave other than maybe hoping MAGA wins? What's your other prescription?
The other prescription, better messaging is number one.
Okay.
Acknowledging the threat that DSA, like one of the reasons DSA gets away with what it gets away with is because people are like, well, they're just like us. They're just, they're democratic socialists in the way that maybe Pisco is, or the way that maybe
I am not a democratic socialist.
I'm a social democrat. Right?
They're like they're left leaning. They're progressive. They call themselves progressives, and they change what they call themselves in different venues, by the way, right? But they get away by masking on and people just kind of letting them in, right? So by identifying the threat, by kind of unmasking them, by kind of forcing people to really reckon with what they actually stand for and what they're actually trying to do, I think a lot of people were like, whoa, they really want to abolish prisons? That's fucking crazy. And I think that goes a long way. But I think that one of the reasons they get away with it is, like I said, no one takes them serious. And it's insidious. And that's why it's very, very dangerous.
Right. But,
we all recognize the threat of MAGA. All of that.
As political commentators, we can all look at these shitty positions and say, these are shitty positions, right? I don't think anyone here is disagreeing with this. Abolish prisons is fucking ridiculous, right? But if you're asking, what does the Democratic Party do when you say we need to cut them out of the tent? We need to get rid of this cancer. We need to stop the stone from rolling down the hill. Sure. Okay. So we message better, right?
He means
I agree with that.
He means like publicly disavowing them, distancing yourself from their policies. Like, Biden did that, to be honest with you.
Right.
When Biden said, I am the party, when people were trying to tie him to like Bernie's policies. And so like, I guess, Whick, I'm just saying, like, I think the better outcome would be Hong wins. And then we have like sensible Democrats that are in positions of leadership that have platforms and influence to do exactly that, to just say like, listen,
look, I hope
the voters made their decision
wrong.
in Wisconsin, but obviously the Democratic Party is never going to support, getting rid of borders.
Yeah. I just
am I
really
throwing
hope
in
I'm
Keith,
wrong.
guys? He's
I
here.
hope that,
Yeah.
okay, bring him
All
on.
right. Seven people. This is the most libs
6v1
learning we've ever had.
Yo, what up, Keith?
Hi. How are you?
Good, buddy.
your
You?
mic-
Doing well, man.
Good.
Double check you're using the right
using
mic.
your,
Go to settings at the bottom and then make sure it's the right mic there.
Yeah, it might be
Certified
using
little
earbuds.
Brady bunch here.
Is that
I'm gonna put Whick in the
Yeah, I think
center
that
though.
fixes it.
There we go.
Hold on,
Yes.
do another mic check. Keith,
Test.
do another
Hello?
mic check for us.
Hi.
Yeah,
There
that's
you
fine.
go.
There you
That's
go.
better.
There you
All right, there we go. Hi.
How's it going?
Welcome
What's your
to Live
take
and
on
Learn.
all
Nice
this?
to meet
This is
you.
a lot of men. This is a lot of men.
It's the manliest podcast there is.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
So Keith, what you said you could only be here for 20 minutes. So weigh in on this. We're curious.
What is the topic at hand? I was gonna yell that in your chat, Hutch. So
D-
I'm grateful to
DSA
be.
a bigger threat than MAGA right now. That's the
Is
topic.
DSA a bigger threat than MAGA?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's broader discourse about the concept of blue no matter who, and Wick is taking the
Where
position.
should our lines be?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
should our lines be? Is it blue no matter
here's the
who?
thing. Here's what I don't like is I think like there's a lot of personalities on Twitter who are doing this, and I really try not to do it. I think attacking the factions within the left does not help anyone. And I think like one of the things that MAGA has done for better or for worse is they're kind of, I mean, we're seeing it splinter now, but they're pretty cohesive. And I think like when it comes to most things, I think everyone on this live stream probably agrees on most of the big things, right? And so it's like that small 5%, it just doesn't feel like we're all on the same team. Maybe that sounds like really like naive or something, but I think like we're all trying to like work towards in the same direction.
Well,
let me push back. I don't think the DSA has the same end goals as liberals and progressives. They want to go far further than that. They want to end capitalism.
I think they
right?
have an extreme endpoint, but I do think the DSA does want to get to the same. We are all going in the same direction. I think they have a more extreme end
I disagree.
than say like liberalism, but I don't think they are totally different. I don't think they're like.
I mean, they literally say we're not
different.
Democrats. We're using the Democrats, and like, don't get me wrong. Just to push back on this, Keith, I am totally for criticizing these people. The people that say you can't punch left, I think, are very, very stupid. They just don't want the heat. I think Whick is totally fine to call these people out. My issue with Whick is that he says, "Well, to beat them, we need to let MAGA win."
Vote for
I'm fine
Tom
with
Tiffany in
criticizing these
Wisconsin.
people, primarying these people. Look at what happened with Cory Bush, with Jamal Bowman. If you don't like these people, once they get the power, this is the time where we say, "Well, no, this is bad. You're passing bad policy. Let's get rid of these."
I just think there's like not this like inherent evil with some people on the left just because they see things a little differently than you do. That's all.
That's not why. It's not because they see things differently, right? It's because they want to do things that I think that would fundamentally destroy our party and destroy America, and they hang out and are boosted by people.
How many DSA members are there? Aren't there like only like 100,000 or something?
Yeah.
So like,
take much.
but come on,
Like,
you're
here's
really
the thing,
worried about
Keith.
100,000 people are going to destroy
But
the
there's
country?
There are polls
Like,
showing
it just
that
feels
like
like
a third.
again, it just feels like misplaced.
I think it's more about their oversized impact on the discourse. So it's true that very few people in this country identify as like an authoritarian leftist or like an actual Marxist, or could even like define what those words mean.
But DSA is not made up with people who think they're Marxists or.
Oh no! Wait, hang on.
No, but no, I'm saying there are
gotta bring
people
out the
in
flow chart.
DSA.
Like
There are
16
people in
different
DSA who think they are Marxists. Yes, who believe.
No, that's the whole. But no, that's the whole org. That's the entire organization.
Like, do you believe in everything in the Democratic Party?
No, I don't. But I'm saying like the
Well, then
organization
there's a lot of people in the
are-
DSA who also
No.
do not agree with like that. Like what do they put like those things that they believe in? I don't know what the.
Have you
Abolish
read their-
prisons
Wait,
and
hold
everything.
on.
Yeah. That
Have
shit's
you read
nuts.
their-
I was at a
have you read their
DSA meeting
platform?
3 weeks ago, and they were like, a majority of the people who were there were like, "Yeah, that shit's insane." The thing is like, there's a discrepancy. There's like there's internal debates too of like where the DSA wants to head. And there's a huge difference between the national DSA versus local chapters.
Well,
and I think that's something that's
I take your point. You can have chapters that are maybe more moderate than others, but if I go to the DSA platform, the very first thing at the very top here asks, imagine taking a day off from work in a future without capitalism. That's the very first thing that they mention on their website. And so, you can say that you went to a meeting and there were people that were more chill, but the organization is like very definitionally.
I understand. And I think
anti-capitalist, anti-liberal.
Yes, I think the people at the top of the DSA, but I think there's also like this fight within the DSA to decide in what direction.
No one hates DSA more than the internal members. All they do is fight. But first of all, guys, if anyone called me a sweeper before, I think you can say I'm strictly to the right of Keith on the defense here. This is very clearly like, all right, like they want very different things than the current Democratic Party. They want to use the Democratic Party to achieve those things. I think you're downplaying the severity of how bad it could get. I'm just saying MAGA's worse right now.
Well, wait a minute. So this is something new because I didn't realize this. Of course, it's because I don't obsess over it. But the DSA platform was not voted on by its 100,000 members. Is that correct? It was approved.
No. They have a convention and they have
there's a convention
and they vote on the platform. So it's democratized within the institution.
No, there's a vote. I don't know how the whole process works, but it's not like every member is voting on the platform.
Yeah, but
and also, you're a Democratic Party member. Did you vote on the Democratic Party platform?
No, but if it was so disanalogous to what you believed, would you call yourself a Democrat, or would you say, "Hey, I'm an independent and I don't really agree with most of this, but I'm going to vote as a Democrat"? Right? Like you wouldn't be a paying member of an organization that was that antithetical to what you truly believed, right?
I also think
you would.
It's a bit of a cop out to say, sorry, Keith, I'll just be real quick. It's a bit of a cop out to say, I'm not attacking you on this, Keith, but some of these DSA people they're like, I'm not associated with the national, I'm with the local. Well, Hong did that from Wisconsin. I looked up her Madison branch, and sure enough, there's a working group to abolish prisons in there when she said she doesn't support that. So I feel like the local groups are pretty much in line with the national too.
That's just hasn't been my experience, but yeah, I guess you could paint with a broad brush and.
Well, I think there would be like unfairly mischaracterizing a group, and then there's taking their national platform. I think like the Democratic Party national platform similarly defines the party when those things are relevant every 4 years. And I just don't understand this idea that we wouldn't
give grace to MAGA. Like if someone was like, well, I don't vote with Trump on everything, and there's some things I disagree with MAGA brand, but 80% of the time, 75% of the time, they identify as MAGA, we wouldn't grant them this grace. Why are we doing it for these guys?
Is it MAGA or MAGA?
I don't fucking know.
I would like to know. I think it's MAGA. Don't give them the soft A. They don't deserve it.
The hard A.
Good one.
I think with peace and love in my heart, I feel like, Keith, you're sane washing a little bit. There's this concept in those circles of entryism where these groups will deliberately infiltrate, parties like the Democratic Party. And then they run on populist, broadly like popular economic policies like, rent control or, lower taxes for middle income and low income people and subsidized healthcare. But the whole point is to sort of like hollow out the institution and rebuild it in their image, or do what they call like a dirty break where they get enough support.
Are you a DSA member, Keith?
I'm a DSA member. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Keith, do you support those things we've talked about, like abolishing prison?
No, I don't.
So why did you join DSA then?
Because
what made you join?
It's not. Well, first off, have you? I think if you've ever been a part of a political group, they're more aligned with what I believe and the actions that they take than like the local Democratic club that I used to be a member of.
Yeah, what do they stand for that you think makes you want to align with them more than a Democrat?
Well, I like that they're actually action oriented and they're trying to do things locally within like New York or Florida. And they actually seem to be doing things that are changing politics for the better, in my opinion. We have Zoran Mamdani who, if not for the DSA, AOC, if not for the DSA, wouldn't be political figures. And it just was really funny to me that the establishment is so upset about the DSA when they're actually just helping create better politicians that actually are helping the Democratic brand.
Well, how do you square that? How do you square that with like JB Pritzker, for example, who's been really aggressive on super progressive policy? Or how do you square that with Abigail Spanberger, who signed nearly 1,000 bills into law in her first 90 days? I mean, you say like DSA are the ones that are action oriented, but I just never hear a peep about politicians like Shapiro, who has like God tier net approval.
No. I'm saying like Amazon is fighting a bill that's going through the city council in New York that would make it so that delivery drivers who do the last mile here in New York City have to actually be Amazon employees. Right now, they're contractors. And so they've been taking a lot of actions around that to help push that through the process of the city council. That's what I mean.
Sure, but that's not exclusive
I don't
to
feel
DSA.
I don't feel like that's a DSA.
That's not a
thing.
DSA exclusive.
That is the DSA.
Like
No, the
Democrats fight
DSA
for
is
stuff
like
that.
they find specific things like that help workers, like bills like that, and they try to make sure that they are putting pressure on the politicians to get it passed, and also making people aware that Amazon and other companies are trying to fight it.
Do this?
Well, Keith, to bridge the gap here, I think I
don't think. But that's the thing. It's like it's an act.
You don't think Democrats have stood up for the working class again and again and again with bill after bill after bill?
No, I'm saying that Democrats aren't organized like that on the local level. That's what I mean.
So you're saying the local Democratic chapters don't have that?
No,
energy
I've been in local Democratic chapters. They literally exist to help the members of Congress and the local electeds stay in power. That's the whole point. And trust me, there's no activism at the Democratic clubs, at least the ones in New York City.
Doesn't
you're
that
saying
seem
the
a little
local
bit,
game,
doesn't that
in
seem
your
a little bit
opinion?
broad?
Well,
I mean, like,
just to clarify here. So what you're saying is, so if I understand you correctly, because they're hitting you with like statewide and national figures. And to be clear, Keith, and I'm sure you would agree, there is an overstatement on the part of the left that Democrats never get anything done. You know that's bullshit. Like, you know, again, Spanberger's a good example. Joe Biden got a lot done. Like, there is a lot of movement at the national and state level from quote-unquote establishment Democratic figures. But you're saying at the local level, in your experience, the DSA there was more game in town for the local chapter of the DSA, and that's why, because you're in New York, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So you know, you signed up with the New York DSA because for local issues you preferred them as opposed to the Democratic Party.
Yes. And as I'm saying, I mean, I know you all want to be like DSA is a little. I'm not a Marxist. You know, I consider myself to be like a social democrat. You know, and there's a lot of people like me, but I say the main people who go to these meetings are just more progressive Democrats. And so I don't know, like, but I understand the party platform and that lady that went on Fox News, insane. But also like, why can't I be a member of something and trying to do what I can to put my beliefs onto the party, onto the group too? So it's like, I think like this idea of like having
the majority of DSA is Marxist-Leninist, and their end goals are not the same as yours if you truly aren't a Marxist-Leninist.
No, they're not.
Wait, is the argument that the Democratic Socialists are Marxist-Leninists?
Well, I don't know about ML specifically, but like definitely like
Marxists.
Marxists, yeah. The DSA are Marxist explicitly.
Guys, should we get a woman's voice in here?
Marxist-Leninist.
Leftist
Keith already said about how all the testosterone on here.
Do it.
All right, let's do another panel. We could get nine. We could fit 9
doesn't have too
people in
much
here.
time anyway.
I do have to. I do have something. I do have to get to, but.
Hi, Anne.
I do want to thank
Are you a
card-carrying
DSA member? What do you have to say about this?
Right in real time.
No, can you guys hear me? Well, I've never done it this way before. Okay, that's good. Wick, I thought you missed me. What happened? You're all of a sudden you have to go now.
Well, because I had the Liberal Action Network thing I have to do. And okay. I told them I'd push it back a little bit because I wanted to fight the good fight here. But
this is more important.
No, I'll give you 10 minutes and then I have to go.
There's good liberal work to be done, Wick. Come on.
Yes, that's why I'm here. I'll give you 10 minutes and then I do have to fulfill my responsibilities. So
true.
All right, say
I
your
don't want
piece.
to interrupt. I know you guys were just in the middle of something.
You've already interrupted. Now you have to keep going.
For what it's worth, I just want to say, Keith, just to put a button on it. Like, I am not going to deny your experience with DSA, and I don't share, Whick's contempt for DSA or even Hutch's to the extent that they do. Now, I do think that there is an illiberal strain within the upper echelons of DSA.
I don't know. Hang on. I don't know why people are saying it is like this. It's not an illiberal strain. That is from the top down.
Is AOC a liberal? Is AOC a liberal in your estimation?
She's not the top down. She's a DSA endorsed candidate.
Didn't they disavow her?
So wait a minute. So wait a minute.
Why are you fighting me on this? Why are you fighting me on this?
Because you want to paint the entire DSA as illiberal, and I reject that category. I just categorically reject that.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know. Have you read their platform?
I've read their platform, but this is where I think Keith has a fair point, which is this idea that literally every single candidate or every single member of the DSA must co-sign the illiberal extreme of the national platform.
No. But the national platform,
reject it.
That is the party identity, though. But I feel
so wait a minute. So to be clear, you agree then that AOC and Zoran Mamdani are illiberal. You cannot be a liberal member of the DSA.
No,
right?
That's not.
He's saying the majority of them are going to probably follow the national platform.
You're trying to find a contradiction. You're not.
No, I mean, I found it. I found it. You're fucked.
No, but she governs like a pragmatic, progressive liberal, and she's DSA aligned. She's still,
take AOC out. What about Mamdani? Mamdani has not been disavowed by AOC or by the DSA. Is Zoran Mamdani illiberal?
I would say so. Yes, he's a communist, right? So. Okay. I'll be right back. 1 second. I don't mean to bail. I'll be right back. 1 second.
Yeah, Josiah here. I'll argue for Edge because I agree with him here. Like the idea that this isn't a majority of this coalition.
I did not say even majority. I said the idea that literally every single member.
No one's saying there aren't exceptions. They're saying this is the DSA, this is the org, this is their national platform, and this is what they're pushing. Like, why would you be a part of an org if you're that opposed to communism in the long run, if you're that opposed to seizing private property, if you're that opposed to this national platform?
Can you be a liberal who is not opposed to communism?
I don't know if you can have liberal communism, no.
Okay, so then by definition, there can be no liberal member of the DSA, right? You're boxed in, Soy.
No,
wait a minute.
People in the DSA who do not support communism.
No, literally, it sounds like Keith is one of these people who is just like, no, even though a majority of the people kind of want this illiberal communist
how can
seizing
Keith
of private
possibly
property
be liberal? How can Keith
because in the short term, this is not big enough for him to like. It's like, look, they're pushing more progressive, they're fighting harder, they're organizing, and maybe that's their end goal, but it's so far in the future that it doesn't matter to me, right?
So then you can be a liberal member of the DSA.
I didn't say you couldn't. I'm just saying that clearly the majority. No, I'm saying you probably can't be a liberal communist.
Can you be a liberal MAGA?
You said that DSA.
No, Josiah, can you be a liberal
DSA
MAGA
supports communism,
Maybe
right? The national platform.
Yeah.
Right, Soy Pill?
Yeah.
How can you be part of an organization that has such an illiberal?
Yeah. What's the point?
So you're asking what the efficacy is, not that
obviously
it's not possible.
People are part of it that are I don't think the AOC
we're good. We're good.
Okay, yeah, we didn't disagree. I'm just, but the fear was not, can you be an exception in this? The fear is, hey, these people do not have the same goals, the same end goals as you. Some people in it do, some people don't. Most probably don't if they are Marxist-Leninists or Marxists.
I'm assuming.
So Keith, then we agree that Keith is a liberal member of DSA, and it's possible to be liberal members of the DSA.
I don't know
if he's telling the truth. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I just don't know why you're fighting so much on this one particular thing, Josiah. Like, instead of just acknowledging that this is an organization
Josiah?
It is fundamentally Marxist. It is
so Hutch, I'm going to ask you. Hutch, I'm going to ask you.
Don't get so defensive. Wait, hang on. Just listen to me.
Can you be a liberal member
What do you think
of
DSA's goals are? What do you think DSA's goals are?
I think that their goals are to abolish prisons, as they say.
No. I'm not. Listen, I'm not talking about specific policies per se, but I'm saying like the broad vision. What do you think they're trying to accomplish? Politically,
to locally or nationally?
I mean, both.
I think their goal is to fundamentally alter, like the end state is to fundamentally alter the current state of America and make it a more socialist enterprise.
Okay, then why are you fighting us on this, man?
What are you fighting us on?
Why are you fighting me when I say it is possible to be
saying
a liberal member of the
that.
DSA? Well, wait a minute.
It's possible, just like it's possible to be someone who is liberal and supports MAGA. It's possible.
Wick is liberal and supports MAGA. Come on.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I have to think about that. I don't know if it's possible to be a liberal
it's
MAGA
possible in the
supporter.
same way it's possible to be liberal and support the DSA.
I want to ask Keith.
I do have to go soon. Just FYI.
Keith, I assume you're a liberal. I'm not trying to. And is that correct? Do you identify as a liberal? Are you a socialist? Like how do you?
Yeah, liberal. Yeah,
liberal. So
yeah,
are you afraid that as a liberal joining DSA that you could open the door for some of the more extremist stuff by legitimizing them?
No, I mean I don't. What do you mean?
So you've heard some of their national
legitimized.
No. But I think the concern is that we're kind of sane washing some of the more extreme stuff while you're not hearing that from the people on the ground at the meetings you're going to. But people are concerned that it's a Trojan horse to bring in this group and this ideology that undermines capitalism and liberalism. Does that concern you at all, joining a local chapter?
No, I mean, I think I personally think capitalism. I think capitalism deserves to be undermined. I don't think it is serving us as best it could right now. We used to regulate shit. We used to regulate things. I like to get into regulation again. So yes, I think that what is Whick guy is very dramatic.
Keith, are you masking on right now? Like, can you just
tell
us what your
real?
All of it right now.
Did Hassan Piker shock his dog?
What?
Did Hassan Piker shock his dog?
He says he didn't. No.
He says he didn't.
What are we doing here?
Anyway, that's all I needed.
I don't know
guys,
if
I gotta
Keith
go.
traffic
I
in
love
that.
you all.
Keith, I don't. Do you like follow like Hassan?
I have no
drama?
idea what that.
Wick, ask him a different question because
Sure.
that's
Do you
a
think,
bit more
do you think
niche.
Hassan Piker is
yes.
Do you think Hassan Piker is a threat to the Democratic Party?
No.
Okay. Yep. That's all I needed. Okay. I'll see you guys later. I love you.
Bye, Wick.
So Keith, now I would disagree on that. I mean, I think that Hassan's from my experience, and I don't obsess about him quite like some of the others on this panel, but some of the shit that he has said is not just illiberal in terms of policy, but like the apologia for Chairman Mao and shit like this, and other things like he's pretty fucking radical. I think it's fair to say, and also like his answer over the Gavin Newsom, JD Vance shit. I mean, I question to what extent he takes MAGA seriously. I mean, Adam Mockler confronted him on this, our mutual buddy Adam, and Adam dog walked him for the first half of that conversation by forcing him to confront the fact that Democrats just really are the superior party. So I would. Peer-to-peer, friend-to-friend, encourage you to revisit Hassan, but
I think I don't think Hassan Piker is hurting the Democratic Party, and I believe in a majority. I just want I want a coalition that can win majorities, and I think it involves having everyone from someone like Hassan Piker to someone like Richie Torres. So
but
I
Keith,
think
you came in here saying like, "Oh, I'm a liberal and I don't agree with all that stuff." But now you're saying you want to undermine capitalism. I mean, like, if you agree with the DSA national platform, just say
I think
so.
Capitalism.
Don't be lying to us about this.
I think capitalism is best when it's a little bit undermined. Like, you kind of need a little bit undermining in order to make sure that people aren't being taken advantage of. And I don't think we're doing enough of that right now. I think we are.
Do you just mean regulation?
Yes, regulation, but that is literally yes,
Yeah.
but that's yes, but we don't even do that anymore. But I do think when it comes to like certain companies, I don't think those companies should exist as free market. So, like, I don't think
that's
free
more of
market
the strain.
solution.
Because when you say we need to undermine capitalism, what people will hear, at least on this panel, is like undermine the ownership structure and the power structure.
Well, I think for some things we should, like, I don't understand why there's oil companies. Why?
Are you asking me?
No, I just don't. I don't like. I think for some goods, for some like products, and maybe I'm like a little juvenile, but I just don't understand. Like oil, kind of. I feel like it's the earth's. It belongs to everyone, You know, and so I don't understand why there's
things that belong to Earth should not be companies. Like,
I think there's some. I think there's some.
And shit.
Yeah, I think some products. It doesn't make sense to me that they are for profit when everyone
because of some like economic theory, or because of like their relationship to the ground and to like Mother Nature.
Come on, because
I'm just asking.
Because they're like because. Yeah, but like I do feel like if they could, we would somehow be charged for air. Like that's how
he's
saying
it's a public good. Like it's all of ours. But Keith, I would argue it takes money and time to get to.
Yeah, that's why governments should. But that again, that's where I probably am a little bit more on the left than some of you. So
wait, I'm curious though. It seems like Keith is doing the thing that like we're trying to disprove exists. He's being the like reasonable DSA member right now. So I've been probably much more sick of this than you have been, Keith, of like seeing for the last 5 or 6 weeks, just every single lib panel ever is all about the DSA, all about the scary like commies and tankies taking over. Like it's I'm so sorry. We're just reliving McCarthyism, and it's so annoying. Just frankly, I think that one of the problems is like people on the left, the politicians will moderate when they get elected. You saw this with AOC. You see this with people like Bernie, Mamdani. Yeah, exactly. Look, I think you can list off all of these names of people, they espouse to these sorts of crazy things. Like Mamdani, just saw him talking about how, well, we really can't arrest, Benjamin Netanyahu when he comes to New York, regardless of what I think that he should have done in that case or what Keith thinks that he should have done. I think generally speaking, those people tend to moderate regardless of whether or not their base wants them to be more extreme. And then I think what's indicative of like the DSA being less radical than kind of I'm hearing right now is people like Keith and people like myself, who's not in the DSA because I have like strong ideological differences with them, which I do have a lot of strong ideological differences, but it's more of like practical, like personal reasons that I'm not in the DSA. So I think this is like proving the point.
Are you a member of DSA or not? I didn't.
No, I just said I wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Is my mic okay? I just want to make sure that's.
No, you sound
great.
Good. You're good.
Okay, cool.
And I would co-sign this too. Unfortunately, I'm an addict, but yes, it drives me up the fucking wall that this is as much of the discourse, because one thing, I mean, we may disagree on certain particulars, but one thing that I know Keith and I are aligned on, I'm not familiar with you, Ann, but it sounds like you're the same way, which is that you got to keep the focus on Trump and MAGA and fascism. And so to that end, anti-fascism, I think, makes strange bedfellows. So, I'm not crazy about Hassan Piker, but again, I don't make most or hardly any of my advocacy against attacking Hassan Piker, because right now he's mobilizing his audience and his resources to defeat MAGA by, supporting people in Democratic primaries, and some of them go on to win their primaries, and then they'll be up against Republicans. Now, other people have different priorities, and they think that Hassan's candidates are so illiberal or so radical or such a drag on the party that they want to hash that out in the primary. That's just not my calculus. And so I also, in my evaluation of DSA, I know Hutch wants me to put more stock in the national platform. Fair enough. But my mind instantly goes to Zoran Mamdani and AOC, who are more important than any random bureaucrat in the DSA, and I think are going to play a much more pivotal role in shaping the DSA. I think that's fair to say, than the random person on Fox News. I mean, I shouldn't say random. She is the chair, but I mean, like, she's name, she's no name. And
she's not a household name. Like, people don't recognize, no one knows who she is.
Right. And I let me put it to you like this. I would expect that if DSA were to hold elections, like if this person, if Zoran said, you know what, I want to be mayor and chairman of the DSA, that lady would be gone in 5 fucking minutes. That's my expectation. Right. So I totally agree with you. Unfortunately, this is the latest spat in this corner of the internet.
I don't understand, because I feel like, for the most part, when I see the more public, visible DSA people that are out there doing advocacy, they present themselves with hostile framing. Their whole pitch is, we want to completely like destroy the Democratic Party and replace it. And they take an inherently adversarial position. And so
but Hutch, I don't understand. The Democratic Party isn't worth saving.
I'm almost finished. And so when you say like, I don't understand why people are, throwing such a fit about the DSA when they're over here just, just trying to give people healthcare, but that's not how they're presenting themselves. They're
actually, okay, I didn't say that.
Well, I'm taking liberties
healthcare.
a little bit, but like that's kind of the framing that you get. It's like, well, you disagree with giving people healthcare, but that's not the issue that I have with DSA. The issue that I have with DSA is that they're foundationally like an authoritarian, like leftist group, and I'm a liberal who likes like liberal things, and so I also have concerns about like, do you have any concerns about El Sayed and Hong like relatively underperforming to the current climate right now? I mean, does it concern you at all?
I guess like to that, there's the thing I like to think about with that is Alyssa Slotkin won by what was it 0.1%? Was it 10,000 votes? How many votes?
She overperformed Kamala in a year where
she underperformed Kamala in raw votes. It's just that that most people that voted for Trump didn't vote for Mike Rogers, or not.
Alyssa Slotkin is undefeated in competitive races. Like, you understand, she has insane value for the Democratic Party, right?
Can we not aspire for more than 0.1%? Like, that's what I mean. And so it's like, sure, if that's the goal, yeah, okay.
But DSA are not running
someone different. We can
just
try
DSA
something different.
Okay, but DSA are not running in competitive races though. They're only targeting deep blue seats.
But he believes he's definitely more progressive,
and he's underperforming. I've never seen a single poll that wasn't an internal from him that had him beating Rogers.
So Keith, that's because Hutch. But when you're in a competitive primary, it tends to sink both candidates, and so he hasn't had positive ads out there yet, and there hasn't been like couldn't you say that about any like moderate Democrat who also ran in competitive primaries though? Like, no. But I'm saying it's not fair to compare his polling right now versus when he becomes a nominee.
I'm not sure.
When he becomes a nominee, it becomes. No, I'm just saying that. No, I understand, but that's like there's going to be tens of hundreds of millions of dollars of positive and negative spent on Abdul and against Mike Rogers, and so until that like it's just not. That's what I mean. And like Mike Rogers has been raised to be running unopposed, so he's probably at his ceiling, Mike Rogers, whereas Abdul probably has actually more room to grow because he hasn't had any positive advertising.
Keith, your expectation, just so I understand it correctly, your expectation is after the primary is concluded, assuming that as the polls indicate that Saeed wins tomorrow, you would expect between tomorrow and by the time of the election, Abdul will increase his margin vis-a-vis Rogers in the general election.
That would be I think it's listen, Michigan's a swing state. I'm from Michigan.
Right.
That's where I grew up. But I do think that to compare polling right now when you have a competitive primary, it's not. But if you just take the Syed race out entirely and just like disregard it, we just empirically know that more progressive candidates, more left-wing candidates do worse in competitive races than more moderate candidates. Like that's not up for debate. Maybe that's true. Sure. I actually don't know. When has the progressive won? And we're talking and done a statewide race. Like, has that happened?
No. I can link you to.
Swing state.
Wait, hold on. I can link you to an article from our boy Laksha
Jain. He's gonna he'll reference Laksha Jain.
There was a
split ticket.
Yeah, there was a split ticket analysis. They did a meta study over the last like 4 cycles, and blue dog Democrats performed the best. Moderate Democrats were in the middle of the pack, and progressives did worse in competitive races.
Run in swing states statewide, do they?
But they don't. They generally and especially DSA, they don't even target competitive races. They only target deep blue seats.
But that's what I mean is there's actually not a lot of data to point from because it doesn't really happen.
Well, why do you think they don't do that? Hang on, real quick though. Like, why do you think they don't run in competitive races? Why do you think Hong is distancing herself from DSA? Why do you think El Sayed is not, declaring himself to be a member of DSA?
Progressives quite often run. They don't have. They quite often haven't been able to win the primary. It's new. It's a new thing where progressives have a completely different media ecosystem where they can get their messaging out and they can galvanize voters. And so that's why they're becoming more competitive, because they actually don't have to rely on mainstream media to get their voters aware of their existence. So I think
Keith,
there actually haven't been a lot of progressives.
Wait,
to follow up on
something-
Hutch's question. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, go ahead.
You said something interesting. If I heard you correctly, you said the Democratic Party's not worth saving. Did you say
I heard that too. Yeah.
I did. Yeah. I think we need to fundamentally remake the Democratic Party's leaders. And
Why?
we need to
Why do you? But see, I think this drags down the Democratic Party because we have people from the right hitting us, calling us communists and godless heathens, and then we have people on the left attacking us as well and going after Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. This is the party that brought the enhanced ACA subsidies to give people affordable health insurance for 12
It is not a
million
person.
people.
And I think right now the idea of the Democratic Party fundamentally needs to change.
Keith, did
and
you
I don't
vote for
think
Kamala
that's a
in
new
2024?
idea. It polls worse than
Keith,
Donald Trump.
Did you vote for Kamala in 2024?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think.
I was about
what's
to be
your
really
name?
fucking triggered.
What's your name? Soy
Soy pill.
Hey.
Okay, soy pill. You don't know me, but like I've been a Democrat my whole life. I've worked on Democratic campaigns. I was on the Lincoln Project because they wouldn't hire anyone else but Democrats. I was a communications director. I worked for John Ossoff as a senior digital advisor. Okay. The thing is that I have seen I've seen what the party can do, but I've also seen that the party quite often would prefer to have Donald Trump as
I think that's
president.
absurd, Keith. I think that's absurd.
Wait,
No, it's not absurd.
Well,
You
wait,
were
Hutch, we just watched Whick
Soy Bell.
just say that.
I called him out for it too, by the way. But
Yeah, but like,
Wait, well, Whick is not. Wait,
hang
Soy
on.
Bill. Wick is not
Guys,
representative of
Can I
the
make my
overall
point? Can I
Democratic
make my
electorate.
point? Can I make my point? That's absurd because you were just using flowery language when it came to Hassan Piker. Just like 10 minutes ago. And he straight up like did not endorse Kamala Harris, like worked the entire cycle to undermine her, to try to tie her to, like accusing her of like literally wanting a genocide. And then you accuse moderate Democrats or the moderate wing of the party of preferring to lose to Donald Trump. Like that's ridiculous. That's absurd, man.
That's why the Democratic Party is very comfortable having Donald Trump as a foil.
That's bullshit. We threw out our candidate. That's Joe Biden and that's the powers that be. That's Nancy Pelosi. That's the Obamas pushing him out. That's all the insiders as well as the base voters. We pushed them out specifically because of electability concerns. And so to act like when it was all hands on deck, I mean that's not true that we wanted.
So
Trump
you were
to win
supportive
okay
when
with
there
it.
was a primary happening before June, when Marianne Williamson was running and. You were supportive of those candidates?
So I did not support Marianne Williamson. I did not support Cenk Uygur.
Okay.
I didn't support those candidates.
And why didn't any major Democrat run against Joe Biden?
Yeah, because Joe Biden made the selfish choice to run again.
But if the party is so healthy,
who made that choice?
If the party is so healthy, why didn't anyone run against Joe Biden?
They did.
That's different.
They did, and they lost because they weren't even close to having support.
You mean, I can't even remember the guy's name. A congressman from New Hampshire. What was his name?
Dean Phillips, Marianne Williamson.
Dean Phillips. Oh yeah, no rock stars running against Joe Biden.
So respectfully, that's a different thing. So saying that Joe Biden made the wrong choice.
No, it's not a different thing. It's a sign. It's a symptom of the illness of the Democratic Party. That someone like Joe Biden could run unopposed by people that knew that it was not allowed.
That's how every single fucking incumbent goes. No one is like primarying incumbent presidents who have like the party like coalesce behind them. This is not how it works. This is completely unheard of.
Unprecedented.
I think a healthy party wouldn't be saying that.
But we had primaries, and all four of those people lost because anyone who might have opposed them didn't want to.
Were there primary debates?
No, there were not.
This was not a competitive primary, and that was a problem. And you're right about that. But what you said was different. What you said is the Democrats wanted Trump to win. That's a different thing.
It's a symptom. It's a symptom of the rot of the Democratic Party.
The incumbent advantage, just like the general incumbent advantage, is a symptom of the rot of the Democratic Party.
No, the fact
AOC also didn't run. I mean, she couldn't have run, but like the progressive lane also wasn't occupied by some like serious, progressive candidate in Congress.
Well,
so
actually,
we know failure of moderates. It's a failure of progressives too.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's a failure of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I mean the progressive caucus, they were actually President Biden's longest lasting holdouts.
AOC Bernie said stay in.
AOC and Bernie. I mean,
wait, can we pause there, Keith? Keith, you're not going to call them that Sanders and AOC wanted Trump to win, correct?
Sanders and AOC wanted Trump to win.
Yeah, because
they called for Joe Biden not to step down.
Stay in the race.
Right,
after the bad debate.
Well, no, I
debate,
believe
they were the first ones
I
out
believe.
to
I mean,
stay
I don't know
in.
why they did that. I assume because they thought that they could, if he were to stay in and win, they could get a lot out of him politically. So
yes, but no, because they had some notion about what was in the best interest of the country. Just like I assume the people who wanted to, replace Joe Biden later on. But you're assuming that they want Trump in office, and I think that's like, what's the evidence for that proposition? They might be willing to take actions that are, inure to the benefit of MAGA Republicans, and I'm the first to call them out on that. But I think it's a little bit much to say that like Joe Biden wanted to lose, or Kamala Harris wanted to lose, or they were okay with losing.
I think it's being a little unfair maybe to Keith. Let me try to defend. I think Keith is saying Democrats enjoy having MAGA and Trump as a foil, and maybe they're too reliant on it. Is that what you're trying to say, Keith?
Yes.
No, but you said
what's
sure,
the
but
evidence of that?
That's fair, because we do like pointing at MAGA and saying we need to stop this. This rallies people. I know all of our channels do better when MAGA's in power. I know not a single person here would deny that, but that's not good. That doesn't mean I want MAGA to win, for USA to get dismantled, for our rights to be fucking shot, right? Like, this is ridiculous that we like, oh yeah, like, well, I really want to make money on my YouTube channel.
No,
the Democrats really want to like garner support.
I don't think you want MAGA to win, but I'm just saying I don't think that it's keeping a lot of established Democrats or like high-paid consultants up at night that they get to run against Trump for a third time. That's all I'm saying.
Well, what would be the end goal of that? I'm sorry, I just don't quite understand this argument about what's going on here. Like, what's the end goal? Like,
to make money as
because we're not
consultants
talking about streamers, right? We're talking about politicians. We're talking about consultants. We're talking about the party. Why does the party want Donald Trump to win? Even I'm not that cynical about the Democrats.
I think saying want Donald Trump to win is just like me being, is just like
you're repeating rhetoric that is very, very common in those spaces online. They say this constantly. But it is like, that is a pretty outrageous thing to say.
I think the truth behind that is that because I don't think it bothers them, I guess, is that he has won, because it allows them to run against him, fundraise against him.
Sure.
Silver linings. I mean, like, the claim is that all these politicians just do not care about the worst effects of Trump's rhetoric and policy, and they're just like, yep, it's good for me. Like, they're all just self-serving, narcissistic. Like, there are politicians that exist like this, but the idea that the entirety or even the majority of the Democratic Party can look at all the damage being caused and just say, oh, well, it's good for us, like, that's ridiculous.
So Keith, I would try a different approach. This would be my pushback, or my I guess question to you is like, Hutch would tell you, and I think he'd have a fair point here, which is, it seems that the elements of the anti-electoral left, and again, not to pick on Hassan, but since, his name was invoked, Hassan would be an example of this, where actually the thing you ascribe to the establishment Democratic Party, perhaps it exists in some form from feckless moderates, but it also exists on the leftist fringe. People who, for example, like, if you didn't endorse Kamala Harris to win in 2024, I would say by definition you preferred Trump to win, and you were comfortable with Trump winning, right?
Or Josiah, take the mic from PA, who literally outright just says, I am happy Kamala Harris lost. It's not even like mask on. He's just like, yep, it's better for me that Trump won. That's like the kind of people we're dealing with.
Yeah, I believed it was all hands on deck for Kamala Harris. And I actually would have preferred that we had a primary. Like I think they were trying to do like some sort of like mini primary. I would have liked that. I thought it was an awful look that the pro-democracy party didn't even have a primary.
They did have a primary. It wasn't a competitive primary.
No,
but
I mean, it wasn't really a primary. Come on. Like, I think really saying that is actually just being so disingenuous. It's just being disingenuous. Like, sure, there was a primary, but there really was not a primary, and there were a lot of reasons why. But I think for Joe Biden to drop out in June, and then for Kamala Harris to be basically anointed, should we have ignored I was excited it wasn't Joe Biden. I was happy, like, we were at least going to have someone that wasn't just like a walking corpse on stage, but I think that we would have all benefited from someone. I think the reason why we lost is because we didn't have someone that could speak to more of the issues of the party than just someone who just had so many
Keith,
problems.
I'll agree with you that I wish there was a more competitive process, but unfortunately, at the moment, just like with Troy Jackson up in Maine, the primary, whether you like it or not, did occur. And so when I hear this, I'm like, what did you want to happen? Did you want them to throw out the primary that actually did occur, and illegally, by the way, in violation of the rules? To me, I would have preferred that every single one of the members or the delegates actually would have participated in a more competitive process, but it didn't work out that way, and that's to the shame of Joe Biden. But again, it doesn't mean that there's this nefarious intention to just like keep Trump around to like make money for consultants. I think that's a step too far.
No, I'm not alleging that.
Did the national DSA endorse anyone? Did the national DSA endorse anyone for president in 2024?
I have no idea. Do you know? Are you asking?
I don't think they did. I don't think they made any endorsement.
Yeah, well, again, Keith said that it was an all hands on deck thing, and I'm sure he would agree.
DSA, they were not hands on deck on that fight.
Listen, Keith, I'm sure Keith would agree that DSA
to get that lady elected. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm grateful, but I wish more people, especially groups like DSA, did more to help the second Trump term, that's been an absolute catastrophe. But
so Keith, I'm curious what your position is on that, because that's been a source, I think, of tension in these like ongoing, online feuds or whatever. Again, the idea that the idea of vote blue no matter who, right? There's this tension now among leftists who are pleased with the results of primary elections, be it Abdul or Chevalier or Mamdani or whoever it is, like when he was running for New York City mayor, and the expectation was, okay, moderates, now you need to get behind the candidate, which I think is perfectly reasonable, because I am one of those morally superior vote blue no matter who kind of guys, because I'm consistent. I don't care if it's a fucking moderate candidate or a progressive candidate. I think that it is an all hands on deck situation when the alternative is a Republican. But to the frustration of a lot of people, that has not been the calculus of the quote unquote DSA left, or Hassan Piker, or many of the actual candidates themselves who did not endorse Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. As far as, somebody who advocated for Kamala Harris as you did, but is also a member of the DSA, how do you square that circle? Because there's a lot of bad blood in the coalition. A lot of people are now going to say, okay, well, now that your DSA candidate is the candidate, maybe we withhold our vote because you did it to Kamala, you did it to this person, you did it to that person. We're not going to have two different sets of rules.
Well, I would say this. I would say, like, two rights don't make a wrong. I would also say, or two wrongs don't make a right. Yeah. And I would also say Hassan Piker, I from what I understand, because I did a video on this, because I mean, it wasn't even the full idea of the video, but like, it was like an aside where I was like, I really wish that he would have just supported her in the general. And then I think he watched on a stream, and I think he said that he did support her. So I don't know what the truth is.
Don't pull that bullshit, dude. Look at what he's doing right now with all his money and time, and tell me he didn't fucking completely drop the ball in 2024.
Okay. Well, I don't think it's his responsibility or anyone's responsibility to be
100% his fucking responsibility. You have a base of millions of people, and it's an existential threat from the right, and you think it's not his responsibility?
Wait, we give Mehdi Hassan more flowers. We give Mehdi Hassan more credit. I know, but I'm just saying
I think most progressives and leftists understood that it was like all hands on deck. And I think it's just like not helpful.
Most, but not all. I agree with Winnow. I just want to say
most, but not all. All right.
Let me give you what I believe. I believe that lefties did not cost Kamala the election. I don't think there's empirical data for that. But those who did sit out, those who did equivocate, those who did, I don't really know. That's bullshit. Look around us. We see the corruption.
If you know how much that sucks, why would you want to do that again?
I'm not.
This
I'm
year.
not.
I'm
That's
not.
That's
Oh,
why,
to be
that's why
clear.
we're grilling.
But-
That's why we're
yeah,
grilling
but
Whick
what
for
Josiah was
considering
asking
voting
is-
for a MAGA
yeah.
Republican. But what we have a
But
problem
also,
with
Josiah was
is
pointing out, why the fuck should the people, like, I get the spite-driven people. I think they're wrong, and I think you should still vote blue no matter who. But if you're going to have these people who did not hold these principles, who have already signaled that they won't do it in 2028, say, oh, you have to rally for our candidate. Why the fuck should they listen to you? I mean, I'm going to say they should because I don't want MAGA to win, but I can understand a lot of people being spite-driven. It's like, why the fuck should I listen to you? You didn't listen to me,
I mean,
right?
Well, and to be
Sounds-
clear,
this
they're not
sounds like a
talking about
stupid-
you, Whick, or Keith. They're not talking about you specifically. They're
Yeah, because
basically
you
trying
were
to
all
s-
hands
yeah.
on deck 2024.
Yeah, the point of the question was basically like, as somebody who used to work on campaigns and is now a political commentator and is also a member of the DSA, are you concerned about that tension, this feud between the two factions of the lib left coalition of the Democratic Party?
I'm just glad that it's happening now. I think it's good. I think this stuff is healthy. I don't think it's good. I don't think like Hutch, you've been a little snarky with me on Twitter, and I think like that's fine. And so is Destiny. Destiny is like calling me a white guy, like a rich white guy who's trying to be oppressed. Not true. But like, I don't think
I've been pretty tame with you. I've been pretty tame with you.
I know.
But
I don't think that stuff is particularly helpful. But I do think it's good that these dynamics are unfolding in campaigns and online, and that like we are able to have these internal battles to see like the future of the party. I don't think it hurts. Like, I think it's good. It's a net good that Haley Stevens is 100% behind Israel. She has $60 million of outside money helping her out. And you have someone like Abdul who is showing a different version of what the Democratic Party can be. And the Democrats in Michigan are going to decide who their candidate is. I don't think that's like a bad outcome, but I just think that like there are going to be hurt feelings and people are going to wish that their candidate won, but it's then the job of the campaign of Abdul to do what he can to try to win over those voters and make sure that they feel like they have a part in his tent and in the campaign. All right. So primaries are not bad. Like, I think we've actually suffered because we haven't had enough of them.
I don't know.
But
Yeah,
he's already poised. He's already poisoned the well with that by criticizing Gretchen Whitmer for endorsing his opponent, a popular governor. But Keith, I have to say, having a primary when you have an incumbent president who hasn't done a second term is not normal at all. Like, historically, you do not challenge the president who's running for re-election. You get behind it. And if Biden had hit a single in that debate and done just fine, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So for you to be upset about we didn't really have a primary, I feel like you're playing into MAGA's concern trolling about our democracy is not really being held up by Democrats. So how dare you challenge Trump with his saying the election's rigged? You guys rigged the election. I mean, I think we have to be careful with that.
I think we're just going to agree to disagree on that because I think it's fundamentally one of the worst. I think it's like historically we'll look back and like that's one of the worst decisions that our party ever made was not challenging Joe Biden. It wasn't again when
it wasn't like a decision.
And there's no one here. There's no one here on this live stream or anyone watching that could have made the decision for him. But there are probably about 5 people who were very important, very well paid, that saw what was going on, saw how bad he was getting, and decided that it was worth their proximity to power and their ability to make money that he continue a campaign that they knew he could not win, versus letting go of that power, telling him the truth that it was not going to be able to happen.
There were a couple
and
such
letting
advisors,
an actual primary unfold.
There was a couple such advisors, but here's the problem I have to IRI's point. There's this narrative that there was a broader conspiracy among the Democratic elites, among the Democratic Party, even to be like a party to that conversation and to do the actions that you're attributing to a couple of people more broadly, but that's just not true. And if you look at how the decision was made and how it's reported on, it was almost like there wasn't even an inflection point at all. There wasn't a decision point at all. And behind the scenes, many of the quote unquote elites were highly critical of this decision. And some of the people who were like, think about Pelosi coming out and being like, it's up to Biden to make his decision after Biden had already made his decision to stay in the race. They were just attacking him constantly to do the thing that you think was probably in the best interest of the country, which is for Biden to step down from the race. That's the Democratic elites.
I don't think it's I don't think it's really courageous in June of 2024 to say that Joe Biden should rethink his decision to run. I think it would have been brave in December of 2022.
I mean, asking a guy in a campaign to step down as the incumbent is going to be brave no matter what.
The presidential.
You had to tell the president to stop running in the middle of a campaign. This is completely unprecedented.
It just doesn't happen. The reason why incumbents have such an advantage is because they're incumbents. And so
I know.
We did have a primary. You can say that I don't know what you're suggesting. The DNC should have gotten involved in what elevated who Marianne Williamson, who nobody wanted to challenge Biden because he had enough support from primary voters to easily coast to
that's not
a second.
But I guess if I'm remembering correctly, polling always said, even after the November midterms in 2022, that the Democratic Party wanted someone else, and that they thought Joe Biden was too old.
Not true. That's not well. They had concerns about his age, but he had the support.
I think that there was, he had the support, Hutch, but I think there was polling that Democrats would have preferred someone else and someone younger, etc.
So
at that time,
I could be wrong about that.
You and I weren't behind closed doors, but the people closest to him knew that he was starting to age rapidly, and that was just never disclosed to us. And I just think that's. Well, I mean, that's true.
We all saw it with our own eyes,
in June 2024.
But we saw it with our own eyes. I don't know what they would disclose. Pelosi's going to hold a press conference and be like, guys, Joe Biden's lost.
I know, but yeah, they could have went on record and say, Joe Biden is losing his step, and I think he can serve out it. There are things you can do. It would probably have cost them.
To validate Keith's position here, I'm using shout out to Rob Knorr. I'm using Claude here to find polls here, but there were multiple polls in 2022 with pluralities or majorities of Democratic voters saying that they wanted a different leader in 2024.
I take your word for it. But I mean, push comes to shove, though. The what counts is the votes, and if people had an opportunity to step forward and
come on, man.
And run their own campaign.
Are you really saying the votes matter when it's Marianne Williamson, which, by the way, I don't hate.
Of course they matter. What do you mean?
Versus Joe Biden, it's not a real primary.
Well, I don't know what that means though. The DNC, who would they have elevated to challenge Biden?
Yeah. Nobody wanted to run against him. Too.
That's not that he doesn't elevate anyone. It's just that's I guess that's back to my point of there's a fundamental sickness in the Democratic Party where there is, and we're seeing it kind of play out in real time where they think primaries are offensive, that we're
every single election with an incumbent has been run for the entirety of history, pretty much. It's a sickness. It's a sickness that has existed since the dawn of America.
I know. Where's this talking problem? It is. I mean, listen. We used to not even have primaries. I think this is good that we have these now, because it used to be that we didn't even have primaries, right? It used to be that truly party bosses picked the nominee. So it's good that we have this, but I just think that it's just, to me, a sign of something that could be better, that we really should feel that people should be able to challenge the leader of the Democratic Party. No one did.
And they lost really bad.
No one did. Four
people really did, actually, right?
So Keith, Palmer won the America Samoa primary.
Dean. What was his name?
Dean Phillips. No, not Dean Withers. Withers is a bit too young for
guys.
That.
We're coming up on 2 hours. Do we want to give our endorsement of Said or Stevens before the big election tomorrow? All right,
Said wants to expand. Said wants to expand the Supreme Court, so I am Said all the way.
I'll start.
Keith, are you? By the way, Keith, real quick, are you pro packing the court? Please tell me you're pro packing the court.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Pack it.
All right, I'm pro Said. Money out of politics. I want. He's pro Ukraine.
Pack the court.
He represents a more strong vision. I
say
think
pack the court. Soy. Say it.
And pack the court.
Thank you.
Hutch, your turn.
Call me Switzerland. Strategic neutrality.
Wow. Okay, Whick.
But you will endorse the nominee, correct?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Sick.
Well, I'll say it again. If El Sayed wins, I will not vote for him in November. So I'm just not going to do it. I hope other people vote for him though. But in all seriousness, I'm in California, so it doesn't matter. I'm joking. But I support Stevens. Based on the polls, she has a better chance against Mike Rogers. I don't agree with Keith that he's got more room. I think he's got more people to lose. In fact, I think a lot of those Stevens people are going to go over to Rogers, who could have been one, because he's being put on. There's a show being put on that he's too extreme, and he's associating himself with people like Hassan, who I think it's unnecessary blow to his own campaign to associate with that guy. And I think the polls show he's losing to Rogers, and I don't know how he's going to clean that up, because Gretchen Whitmer's not going to come out heavy hitting for him after he talks shit on her.
Keith, what about you, buddy? I think you're next in line.
Let's stick it to him. Stick it to him. With
You're going for
Abdul.
Stevens?
with Abdul.
And what about you?
I'll say for sure. I think whoever wins, I would plug my nose and support, just regardless. I think that's like the general consensus, right? Like anything but MAGA.
Sure.
Vote blue no matter who.
That's right.
Some people
Vote blue
on this
no
show
matter who.
hadn't been saying this, but I think everyone here agrees.
I do want to say though, Keith,
Hutch looks scared.
I think we have-
no, it's not you. It's not you. Sorry.
I think we have a bigger problem in the Democratic Party, where we've turned it into a sport to shit on our own leaders and our own party. And it's like we think we're helping by criticizing, whereas we've got rock stars like Tallarico and John Ossoff, and some people may be unhappy with Chuck Schumer, but he's the reason why we have some of these people like Roy
Joe
Cooper,
Manchin.
Mary Patola. He's the reason why we were to achieve so much stuff under Biden with a 50-50 split Senate. And I know a lot of people say it's crumbs and all that, but I was making a point earlier. The Inflation Reduction Act and the American Rescue Plan, these got people the ability to afford their health care for 12 million people for 5 years through no help with the Republicans at all. So I want to encourage everybody to be more of a cheerleader for the Democrats. Highlight the positive, because when people out there hear the Republicans shit on the Democrats and then they hear the Democrats shit on the Democrats, it's like, why would I support the Democrats? These people suck.
And wait, to IRI's point, we should just clarify for Keith's benefit, because I don't know how familiar you are with IRI's content. He is equal opportunity. When he says Democrats, he also includes Zoran Mamdani. He is, he'll celebrate Mamdani's successes as well. He's not just talking about establishment Dems. So if progressive Democrats win their primary and then go on to win the general election and they contribute to the Democratic Party's success, he'll cheerlead them too. And I do agree. I think that in addition to criticizing the party, you also have to highlight its victories.
Wait, Pisco, you didn't say who you were endorsing.
I did, but if you didn't hear me, I said El Sayed on issues related to structural reform, court expansion, and yeah, I think he's more likely to vote to do those things. So yeah, now that some polls are coming out showing, I think it's still equivocal, and it's in terms of the lead that Stevens has relative to El Sayed over Rogers. But that's the reason why I'm supporting El Sayed. And at this point, there's also polling indicating that I think El Sayed is the overwhelming prohibitive favorite to win the primary. And at this point, I think people just got to start dealing with the reality that we got to support this guy.
All right. Well, sorry we couldn't go for 8. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Last thing that I've been meaning to get out. I think there's supposed to be a natural, and a lot of you will probably disagree with me because I'm, of course, further left than probably everyone here. I think there's supposed to be a natural ebb and flow of the party and the ideologies and the people and the members and all of that. I think that there's right now this resistance to that slow progressive change over time, and I think this conversation will look very, very different once we have another Democrat back in office and also have the House and Senate.
I agree.
Hopefully,
and I agree sooner than that. I think the midterms, if they go well, Democrats back in power with the gavels in the House doing investigations are going to show leadership. People are still sour from the Biden Kamala loss in 24, but they're about to see a whole new side of the Democrats. So I think it'll boost morale and change the conversation for sure.
Guys, I need to ask Guy, would you consider joining the DSA to alter it from within?
Subversive.
Would you subvert the DSA?
Yes, I have my keffiyeh. I bought a keffiyeh. I'm ready to go to my first DSA meeting.
Liberal entryism. Let's go.
Wait, I have a question for Keith. Keith, in terms of the Democratic primary for president that's going to be shaping up, who do you have eyes on? Who's exciting you? Do you like Ossoff? Do you like
I really
AOC?
like Ossoff. I like Ossoff, but I worked for him, so I feel like that's not fair.
Yeah, you're biased.
I
You're biased.
I forgot about it.
I would like to have worked
dude
for a
can sit on
president,
a mic.
please.
So Ossoff is actually standing off screen with a loaded gun, telling Keith to give that answer right now. Okay, your non-Ossoff selections, like who would be your roster?
Can we just pause? Yeah, I want to go there.
I don't.
Wait, pause. I want to ask about the Ossoff stuff. Ossoff is a moderate. You would agree with that, Keith?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he didn't even have the balls to run against Biden in 2024 because he was part of the sickness.
True. All right. Sorry. Go ahead, Josiah. My bad.
Okay, so other than Ossoff, because I think he's in all of our rosters, who else do you like and why? And Anne, I'm curious what your answers are too, but Keith, go ahead first if you don't mind.
I don't really. I mean, I don't like. I like Ro Khanna as an idea, but I'm not sure I want him to be a president. I really like AOC, but I want her to run for Senate. I want her to run against Chuck Schumer if we can. Here's my hot take. That's going to sound smart, but I'm sure other people have said it, is that I really think that whoever it's going to be is probably someone we're not even talking about. Like there's going to be so much is going to change after the midterms. It's going to be a reset. And I just think that I have to imagine that there's going to be someone, hopefully there's going to be 20 people who run, and like we have a double-decker stage where like there's just rows of Democrats trying to be the nominee. I hope for that. And I'm just hoping there's going to be like someone that we're just not considering right now that will rise up. But I just no one really excites me yet, but that's okay because we're not even near it yet.
What are your priorities, just out of curiosity too, about what they should do?
Bro, I want someone to be like, lock them up. I want lock them up. I want someone that's going to go after Trump. All this fucking, can we swear? All of this fucking insider trading, the grifting. Like we have to be a nation of rules and laws. We have to be. And so there has to be my ideal candidate is like, we're going after all the crooks.
You should be fully in the tank for Newsom then, right?
What?
You should be fully in the tank for Newsom,
I don't
right?
think has he said that? I don't think he said lock him up, but
I think Newsom has for sure. I think Newsom has for sure come out like pretty strongly about accountability, and
I'm all about that.
He has a visceral hatred of Republicans that goes back decades. That guy will be aggressive if he gets the nominee, which I don't hope that he does, but.
So, all right. Anne, what about you?
True. We talked about this actually, Pisco, a while ago. I don't know if you remember this. You were on TikTok, and I hopped on your TikTok panel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, I mentioned. That's right. Okay.
Okay.
I forgot about but I remember it. Yeah.
I'm just chopped liver, but no, I mentioned then, and I'll reiterate this. I'm very Ossoff pilled. I think if I had to pick a viable candidate, I'm not opposed to Newsom. I think obviously in an ideal world, probably AOC. I'll reiterate, what Keith said there, but I'm still I want somebody who's like vehemently anti-ICE. Same kind of vibe that Keith is on, the lock 'em up kind, I need someone who's gonna come in here and be like, look, these thugs are out in the street arresting your neighbors, causing fucking havoc. We need somebody who has like the fighting rhetoric, we got to cut this shit out.
What Andy Bashir sneaking in there with his fuck. Did you see his post about Rand Paul? He's like, Rand Paul, if he had balls, would be in Donald Trump's hands or something. Like, you're just talking mad shit. I'm like, Andy, the Mr. Rogers of U.S. politics.
I know. I was not expecting that. Yeah.
Because that's my big knock on Andy. I used to live in Kentucky, and I like Andy. I think he's a very competent governor. He's very popular. He has a way about him, but I just don't think as a general proposition he has the ruthlessness necessary for the next Democratic candidate. And if we get another Joe Biden, I'd still maintain Biden was the best president of my lifetime, but we need a departure from Biden when it comes to the whole, we're just moving forward. Oh, no, I want at least the first and second term of the next Democratic administration to be all about punishing corruption and structural reform. So,
I mean, Biden's DOJ did indict Donald Trump in two different.
True.
jurisdiction.
Here we go. The fucking Merrick Garland fan club right here.
Neither here nor there.
Yeah, Merrick Garland really.
Merrick Garland should be 20. Merrick Garland 2028 is what you're saying. That's what you want, Pisco. It's the world that Pisco wants.
Let him retire, but I think he gets way too much shit. You should be giving shit to the Supreme Court for Trump versus United States. That horrible decision. By the way, folks, if we're plugging stuff near the end of the show, I have a 10-hour immunity debate starter pack.
Oh my god!
It's already uploaded. But I'm gonna make it go live tomorrow.
That's crazy.
And you can watch all those debates that I had about the immunity decision. All the SEAL Team 6 memes, they're all coming up. So yeah,
it's been uploading for 3 weeks.
I'm in Japan right now, and so it was actually slow to fucking upload that shit. But we're good. We're a go, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
All right. Wait, why are you calling this early? Like, why don't we just hang out? Like, we got.
I gotta go.
People always yell at me when we go too long. I was being responsible, but hey, guess who's not in charge of the pod anymore, Josiah?
No, I know. I'm just saying, I'm here. Fucking Hutch. I want to read a text from you that I got from Hutch, literally as I was turning the lights on. Hutch, fuck you. The text was this. The text was, "Get in here, fucko. We warmed a seat for you."
I don't know.
At 7:30.
I don't remember typing that out.
You're like his cocaine dealer. He's trying to quit, and you're like, I just left a little line of this on the table. Who knows who will slurp it up?
I gotta go. Spirited debate. I appreciate you two.
What are you plugging?
Just a stream starting tomorrow at some point and ending at some point.
Normal Hutch streams. And what you got going on?
Ooh, not a lot at the moment. Just follow me, Leftist Blondie, everywhere.
All right, Keith, what you got going on? What you doing? You have a sign. None of us have illuminated signs.
Oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I do a lot of breaking news slop. If you're interested in that, and I'm also on Twitter where I do a pretty good job beating up Republicans. So yeah, or X.
You calling Hutch a Republican?
X.
He also went through that fucking Max Miller fucking document dump.
I went through that
dump.
Dropbox.
Dude, that was
and
crazy
found some good shit.
Yeah.
All right, Guy, what's going on with you?
Not this week, but next week I have a Democrat on the front lines for one of these congressional districts that will determine control of the House coming on. I don't want to say who, but
it's Daria Lisa, isn't it?
Big name. No.
It's Daria Lisa.
A big name. Well, that is a big name. It's got a lot of syllables, Josiah.
Chevalier.
Yeah. Okay, look out for that. Josiah, what do you do? What do you even do?
Well, I'm a recovering addict.
Do you want to come back to the podcast, Josiah?
No, I don't. That's the problem. I don't. I don't want to. I feel the need to sometimes because you all say stuff that provokes me. And by you, I mostly mean Hutch, but occasionally the rest of you as well. I do have fun with you guys, but it's like a bender. I feel like an alcoholic at the end of a bender. Like, man, that was fun. I barely remember half of it, and I feel like shit afterwards. That sort of thing. So I'm a recovering addict in that respect. You can find me on my YouTube channel where I too do anti-MAGA slop. I'm an idiot focusing on the most powerful man in the world. I'm an idiot instead of like the 6 DSA members in Congress. I'm a fucking loser, but yeah. It's weird.
Are we at least a little
I want to
bit
say
more...
this. Thanks for letting me on. I just want to say thank you for
yeah.
letting me come on and talk and being nice. You guys are very nice. I hope the chat was nice. Probably not. But
thank you. No, thank you, Josiah and Ann for coming on. You guys, you guys are all welcome to come back for sure. It's a lot of fun and it's great to get different.
It's nice to talk. It's nice to talk to people. I'm so used to talking to myself.
Yeah.
I got a video coming out soon. My laptop exploded, but you can also see them at my parents' house. But don't worry, it is being worked on as we speak. So,
are we a little bit more hope-pilled about the DSA left, slightly left?
No, not after that exchange. No,
I think
listen,
like
I take the view. I want to say I think the view that there's a bunch of like really good progressive social democrats, as Keith Edwards, referred to, that are like. Whoever's identified as a democratic socialist in those polls, I would say the vast majority are them. But specifically on the DSA, no, today's conversation did not alleviate any fear to that. I just would, even notwithstanding, it doesn't change anything for me, right? Notwithstanding that, MAGA is worse. And I think Soypel probably feels the same. I think Hutch probably feels the same. And everyone else probably feels the same. But it didn't alleviate fear specific to the DSA, no.
Oh, come on. Me and Keith aren't scary.
No, I don't think
because
he's not
he's not that afraid. That's the point. Like Pisco is not particularly afraid about a DSA takeover. That's what he says. That there's
I gotta go. I gotta go. Love you guys. I gotta go.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys.